want to do, I can do. I can work, stop playing work if you want me to. I can do. I can watch you for a sec and do what you do. I can do. It's all in the mind. If you think it, then you can do. The fighting spirit, you can make it if you wanna do.
To everyone that's joining, you are welcome to Liberation TV. You are watching the Liberation TV channel live. You are watching the Liberation TV channel live. Anyone that is here, share and inspire. So we can speak some truth today. So we can speak not only the truth today, but some truth. That is going to set us free. We are going to go to Exodus chapter 3. Exodus. We have seen Exodus chapter 1. We saw Exodus chapter 2. Today we will go Exodus chapter 3. And everyone should share because we are going to bring so much of the mystery. Let's not show. There's no way as a people we can succeed without truth. Thank you, God bless you. Continue to share. So let us share and share fatly and quickly. Today the merciful truth is back. We are going to speak and spark and spook some merciful truth today. So I call each and everyone to participate because of the blood that has been spilled. There is no way we can conquer and we can succeed without speaking the truth. We have seen Exodus chapter 1. We have seen Exodus chapter 2. And today we are going to also elaborate on Exodus chapter 3. It is very important. Because Exodus chapter 4 is very, 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 very critical. And so before we arrive there, we are going to look at Exodus chapter 3, how Moses returned back to Egypt in order to start the journey. And so you can understand, so many of us are on exile today. So many of us are refugees in refugee camps across the world. And so many of us are living illegally in other countries because we have run away in fear and for safety and protection. And so this is very important that the journey, the Exodus journey, is something which we must take very, very important and critical. And so fellow brothers and sisters, as you are welcome today in Liberation TV, I call each and everyone to participate massively, very bigly and fatly today. I'm not going to ask you for any money. I'm not going to ask you for any contribution today. I'm just simply going to tell us, me and you, the merciful truth that will set us free. Because when we speak the truth, and we speak the truth with the fear of the human dignity, with the fear of mankind, we are going to be free. And that is why we are here to set a good example to everyone, to all the citizens and patriots, and to all the leaderships, and to the leaders, and to everyone on the grounds, those in prisons, and those in refugee camps, and those on exile, and our people that are watching above us, because their blood was spilled for this journey. And so this is why we must speak the truth, because the truth is very, very important. I call each and everyone to share massively, bigly and fatly, as we are about to start in 2 minutes time. Thank you so much and God bless you all. You are welcome.
Anytime you call me, I'll be there to show you what I'm worth. Anytime you call me, I'll be there to show you. Because for you, I'll take up the task, take up the challenges. Ooh, and I'm pushing myself and aiming for the best. I say, Kocho. one mama, oh. Come on, come on, come on, let's do it now. My baby, my fine baby, my baby, my sweet mama. Let me tell you something about this, my sweet mama. The only woman who give it me to grow and make me a man. Thank you, for the love you showed me. Without you, my Bamenda, I know for the existing. Thank you, my Bamenda. Thank you, my homeland. God bless you, my mama. For the son you said for your children. I am proud of you, you are rich. I am proud of you, you are strong. You defeat the whole Cameroon like Africa in the one leg. My Bamenda, my fine baby. My Bamenda, my sweet mama. Some people say you too small to change the country. Others say you not be good for make this world. That's just a name in this country. People them they shiver. The way we are picking them, they also people them they wonder.
You are welcome to Liberation TV. Again, share and invite. We are about to start in 1 minute. Let us share massively, because today is a day of the merciful truth, and we are going to speak the truth. We are going to speak the truth based on what our eyes have seen. We are not going to speak some kind of rocket science truth that cannot be seen by a mere human being. We are going to speak the same truth that any other person on grounds, our mama and papa them go here. Today we go talk now for big time pidgin. The kind pidgin where they talk for that day for German. Now the kind pidgin where we go talk today. After we don't read the book of Exodus chapter 3, we go continue now for the kind pidgin where them talk for that time for German. Now you will want make our mama and papa them where them come out for ground zero for behind their picking them as we come see them. Some people where they know the talk for ground, where they don't know the reality on the ground, I hope so when I don't see them. So for that reason, for whatever we don't see today, people where they still want to use politics, today not the end. Today is the death of politics, diaspora politics. Today is a death of manipulation. It is the end. Our people will therefore now controlled and move forward in a very good direction. Because the confusion is done too much. And now we don't eliminate everything as we don't walk behind the scene. So when we walk behind the scene and you have seen the result, we have come now publicly to beg for your pardon so that our people might have peace. Cameroon was defeated already. But now only manipulation and confusion will come put our own. They start fight against themselves. The intertribal war where the one creator, where we don't shy away for them. The one cause me we start kill each other. But we say that when we no retaliate, we no revenge, no be say we no get power and mantle for do that. Now say the enemy want to change the narratives. But because we are now very smart slaves, we can now say, slave master, you are not going to pay us more salary in order for us to call you Oga. We are not going to do that because now we are educated. And that is what we are looking forward to talk today. And so you are welcome to Liberation TV. Especially those of you that don't understand the black history. We as Africans have to uphold all it takes to speak the truth. We have to always understand that we have suffered. We are the last continent that suffered, but we were the first continent that saw light. But then because Satan showed us with light, and Satan, you ask, how can light be with these people? Satan took away the light and restored darkness to us. And so we have suffered for years, for centuries upon centuries. But this is a generation of breakthrough. That is a time where everything has to stop. As I'm speaking today, I do not speak because I'm different from you. Each and everyone must understand and speak out your tongue and continue to confess and stand for the truth. And there he who created human beings and mankind and the world. I don't know how you call it. I don't know what word you describe it. I don't know whether you call it your native word. I don't know whether you want to call it energy. I don't know whether you call it God. I don't know whether you call it Allah. I don't know whether you call it Buddha. I don't know how you call it. But we are saying that to that invincible energy or God or the creator that created everything we see and cannot see, or maybe you don't even believe in it, but today we are saying the merciful truth in what we have seen on the ground, in what we have seen on the ground, in what we saw on the ground, in what our people felt, they saw it, they feel it, they touch it, is what we are going to talk about today. The journey of the Israelite people, the people we know today, the Hebrews, from the land of Egypt where they were tortured before they arrived at the land of Canaan. We are going to talk because that was a real journey. It was a journey where they saw the leader Moses. They could feel him. They touched him. And they could hear him talking. And so today we are real in that order. And so we are going to go today with chapter 3 of the book of Exodus. And so before then we are going to talk about what we have just seen on the ground in relation to what we have seen in the story of the God-given people, the Israelite people. And so today, we as a people suffering, where the King Bia of La Republic has held us hostage, we are not different from the God-chosen people. And that's why we say God has blessed the journey. God blessed the journey already. But some people are delaying the journey with lies, manipulation, and politics. And so today is the end to those lies. I call each and every one here to pray so that for whatever comes out from our tongue, it must be guided for the benefit and to serve the aspiration of our people. We pray that whatever comes out from this mouth today be what we work positively for our people. That whatever comes out from this mouth today be according to the ordination of the people's struggle. That any act of lies, manipulation, anything that is fake should not even locate this mouth as we are going to start today. We pray that to all of you that are listening, may God give you retentive memories to listen. May God open your ears to listen. And may God flush the bad politics that has already filled our hearts, filled our brains, that God may render us today neutral so we can listen to this divine ordained message. The message of peace, the message of restoration, the message of revelations, the message that will give us prophecies in years upon years as our children will remember what we did when things were going wrong, what we did in our own localities, in our own communities when the devil conquered us. Did we allow the devil and say, devil, you are a winner? Did we understood that those things were a temptation from God? Did we understood that those things were things that happened in the journey? Did we understand today that those things might still repeat itself if we do not make the necessary and permanent corrections? What are we doing today to avoid those things from coming back? Because the devil is still alive. Because the devil is still working so hard. But we have to understand too that the devil can only destroy. He cannot create. That the devil can only destroy what me and you have worked together. But the devil cannot create. Because the devil has no power to create. He has a power to destroy. That anything you can see, feel, touch, and don't even see is created by God. That even the devil, God created it to mankind as a sign of test for our faith and divinity. That today we are going to speak the truth that will set us free. I thank you so much for coming to Liberation TV. Thank you for your participation. I'm not going to ask anyone for any donation today. It's a day for us to talk post 1st October, for us to see, build our energies, build our momentum, come together and synergize for the next movement, for the next journey, as we are going to walk in the light of light, the light of God, the light of truth, the light of harmony, the light of merit. You are welcome. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for inviting. Share to all your WhatsApp groups, all your Facebook platforms, all your media platforms, your Twitter pages, and invite everyone and your communities, as we are going to thank those communities for the wonderful job. Our civilian population remains the government of the people. The civilian population remains the government, because if they don't stand behind their sons and daughters, then the enemy can succeed to take their sons and daughters the name which they want to do. That name is not even clean and holy before God. And so, fellow brothers and sisters, we give our civilian population 100% congratulations and salute of first order for the maximum turnout for all they did 1st October, the Independence Day. We thank the populations. We thank our mamas and papa. We thank our brethren, brothers and sisters. We thank the sons and daughters who made sure that the civilian population have their safety and protection. The Second Amendment in the United States Constitution, indeed. The United States, the America remains, of course, the backbone, the skeleton of the type of democracy we want to see. When the people, the civilians, determine whether they like their sons and daughters or not. Of course, if they hated their sons and daughters, they will not run away from Cameroon military of occupation. They will not run away from Cameroon, the colonial masters who command and enslave our people. And if our civilian population were against the act of their destiny, they would have not been embraced or embracing and welcoming their own sons and daughters. And of course, logically, will somebody run away from his own sons and daughters? Of course, foreigners are always going. People run away from foreigners. Cameroon military of occupation is, they are foreigners in the God-given land. The Canaan, the land of Amazonia, southern Cameroon. I thank you plenty. God bless you now. And welcome to Liberation TV. Keep sharing. We are starting in 1 minute's time. We start with Exodus chapter 3. After that, that's how we are going to the bottom line for today's Merciful Truth. We be in conjunction and connected to that. God bless you all, and you are welcome.
Thank you, my homeland. God bless you, my mama. For the sweat you said for your children. I am proud of you, you are rich. I am proud of you, you are strong. You defeat the whole Cameroon like Africa in a one land. My fine baby. My sweet mama. My brothers and sisters all over the world, whatever you do, always think about your home. It's a place where you will come back some days. Let's clean it up, let's build it, Lord. Thank you, my Bameda. Thank you, my homeland. God bless you, my mama. For the sweat you said for your children. I am proud of you, you are rich. I am proud of you, you are strong. You defeat the whole Cameroon like Africa in the one land. My Bameda, my fine baby. My Bameda, my sweet mama. All the hardworking sons and daughters of this great northwest region of Cameroon, I want you to stand up and dance, because the time has come when we have to put our heads and hands together in order to build.
So I thank you plenty. Welcome to today's edition of Liberation TV. You are here today because we have a cause. You are here today because we have a journey. You are here today because our people are suffering. You are here today because we need a way out for the safety and protection of our families. You are here today because we want to end the madness. We are here today not because we want to have a bazaar, a party, or a friendly encounter, but because the suffering of the people has made us to have some certain feelings that for 21st century, it is not normal indeed. And so we are here today to brainstorm ourselves and see way forwards, what we need to do better, what we could have done in a good way, and what we still need to prepare, because the 1st October is not the last one. It's not either the first. It is just a way to test ourselves to see where we are today and how we must move after that. And the things that we do in the back, 1st October is a testimony. It's a testimonial. It is to say, it is a show of how everything we have been doing. It is a test where we see the connections that we have built over the years with our communities. It is a test to prove to what you have been doing for your localities, for your communities, the humanitarian gestures, how we have touched the hearts of our people during this time when they are suffering. 1st October, indeed, we tell each and everyone, what have you done? What have you been doing? There are chaos in your communities. Did you shy away from those chaos? Or you took upon yourself and say, look, if I don't do this, who will do it for me? Did you take responsibilities to the suffering of our people and see and take even sometimes blame yourself instead of crying the victim as usual? Did you come in the time when your people need you the most? Even when the worst chaos has happened in your communities, what did you do? Did you say, oh no, you cannot go for any talks? But then whenever the victory came, you want to claim the result. Is that the type of humans we are? Is it the type of things we want to undertake credit when we see the positive things coming? Or did we really participate when the worst has happened? If a man, you have 5 children, and 3 of your children have been killed from your hands, are you going to fold your hands and say the enemy can come and take the 2 that are left in your hands? Or you are going to go and embark in a journey to even protect the 2 that are left, so that tomorrow the 2 can share testimonies of how it happened that 3 of the brothers or siblings were killed? Are you such a person that even you have 5 children and 4 are killed, you will abandon the remaining 1 that they can finish and kill? Or you are such a parent that even if you have 5 children and 4 are killed and only 1 is left, you will do everything tooth and nail to protect the remaining 1? The case study of Bui. When we have lost a lot of our own civilians in Bui, we have lost a lot of amber soldiers in Bui, and then it's a time for us to dialogue. Are we going to run away from dialogue? We cannot do that because we have emotions now, or we want to protect the remaining General Hassan, or the remaining Caporal, the remaining Ebube or No Messi, or the remaining St. Michael, or the remaining Airwan. Are we going to say because the churches have been killed, we cannot talk to each other because we are tired of talking? But do we want to take the credit for the result today? I think that the credit goes to all the civilian population that we saw on grounds, and their children that are dying, that they almost killed. The remaining ones, I think they get the credit. I think diaspora indeed is a problem in the struggle. Has been a problem and might still be the problem. We have to understand that at some time our emotions have to go down. Some of us people have tagged us with death sentences because of trying to have peace and harmony in our societies, in our localities. But some of us have had the mantle from the above to be able to protect us in whatever we do. And so we are not even afraid of the adversities in one way or the other. Neither have we ever been afraid of Cameroon La Republique at the time when they tag us names and put us in newspapers and run our names in CRTV and ban us from every financial institution. But we survived. We stood tall. And so it came to an era where we have longly awaited the in-house struggle. We know there was going to be a time when the slaves will fight among themselves. We saw when Moses escaped from Egypt to Midian. In Revelation, in the book of Exodus, chapter 1, how Moses left from Egypt to Midian was because he saw slaves fighting among themselves. The Hebrew man was fighting with the Hebrew man. And Moses reminded them, you are fighting, like in chapter 1. In chapter 1, Moses saw an Egyptian fighting an Israelite. And Moses killed this Egyptian person and buried in the sand. In the book of Exodus chapter 2, Moses was coming and saw the Israelite fighting another Israelite. And Moses said, the slaves shall not fight among themselves. Why are you fighting among yourselves, brethren? You do not have to fight among yourselves. You have to show love to each and every one. And one of the Hebrews turned around and said, do you want to kill us like you killed an Egyptian and buried in the sand? You think we didn't know who gave you the audacity to be the prince and the king over us? These are slaves talking like this to Moses. And then Moses discovered that the news has gone viral that he killed an Egyptian. And all of a sudden, the message came from the palace that Moses is wanted and he will be killed. And that is how Moses took his way out of Egypt, took his heel and ran to Midian. In Midian, where he sat by the well and so some children came to fetch water to water the flocks. And of course, they were chased away by the shepherds. And Moses stood up for them again and said, no, they have to fetch the water to water the flocks. And Moses even helped them to water the flocks and fetch more water for them to fill their barrels. And behold, the daughters of the chief priest of that area returned to the priest. And the priest asked, "We are back home so early. What happened?" They narrated the story and said, "We went, the shepherds were chasing us away. There was a stranger who was beside the well, and he helped us not only to fetch more water to fill our barrels, but also help us to water the flocks." And the chief priest said, "Where is the person? Bring the person so the person can eat bread with us." And they brought Moses. Not only in chapter 2 was Moses awarded a wife. The chief priest gave Moses a wife, Zipporah, we saw in chapter 2, as a blessing for being good man, for standing up every time. And we are going to see Exodus chapter 3 today. What happened? Moses was given a wife to live a happy life with his wife, and he was living happily with Zipporah, having a good time in Midian. But how he returned back to Egypt? What happened that he returned back? He already had a fortune, had a family, was living happily. But then so sad but truth, he has to embark in the journey. And so because of this truth we tell you today, we are going to end the madness on the ground. To understand that this journey is not a walk on the park like Dr. Choa Ayaba, whom we used to hate, I used to hate, finally discovered that he was the Messiah. When I asked myself, am I going to help the people who want to nail Dr. Choa Ayaba on the cross? Neither did we say other leaders in the struggles are irrelevant. We only came to prove the point that as other leaders are mounting to fight to destroy and kill Dr. Choa Ayaba like they wanted to kill Moses. It will say, and it proved to us that just as Jesus Christ was killed, this Dr. Choa Ayaba could be the Messiah. The way other leaders gathered and gave him ultimatum to join him by force. The way they have killed General Aibamba on the grounds and tried to kill General Efang and came to Bui and killed all the 30 soldiers of Bui and tried to kill everything about ADF. The ADF are not the born children, the biological children of Dr. Cho. They are Amazon. They are Southern Cameroonians who believe in their own faction. It means if in La République du Cameroon, you have the MLC party, the SDF party, you have the Bed Flu party, the PAP party, the Kawala party, and the CPDM has not killed them. What of Amazonia? Will you be killing your own? Even if they were political parties. La Republic has not killed their own political parties. Why would you slaves be fighting and killing your own brothers because they pay allegiance to one gentleman who is not interested at even revenge, who is not even interested at killing anyone who does not stand for ADF, who did not even kill us when we were federalists, who had not and did not kill you when you were one and indivisible Cameroon, who has said his journey is to take away the army of occupation so that our people should return and put their cocoa board, their coffee board, put the power come back, control your electricity, open your airports, open your businesses, open your deep sea port in Victoria. Make sure that people have the booming economy they had back before 1961. This is what the person had in mind. But all we did was to create a government. And the issue of creating the government slammed our leaders in Konengi prison to the same colonial master. And so today we have the issue of money embezzlement, mismanagement of public funds, donation money, and so on, left and right. We have seen what happened on the grounds. That is reality. We cannot cover a candle. We cannot light a candle and hide it under the bed, or under the table if we don't want to burn the house. And today we have come to speak the truth, the merciful truth, so that we may arrive very fast. The earlier, the better. Thank you so much, and share and invite as we are going to the scriptural reading for today. God bless Una. Una, welcome to Liberation TV. Thank you, and thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. God bless you all. Thank you, and thank you. Mama and Papa them, fellow brothers and sisters, fellow Amazonians, fellow brethren. God bless you all for your participation, for your contribution towards 1st October. You did great. No one, for everything that we saw and the things that we continue to see today, no one alone can take credit. We want to thank each and everyone who made all efforts 365 days for the past 4 years. For whatever happened 1st October, it is not only the activities of 2020. It is a collection from 1961. The efforts of our mamas and papas, the efforts of our grandparents, our parents, and the efforts that our people, wonderful elites that stand like Honorable Joseph Weber. It is a collection of those efforts that has made us to arrive at where we are today. And therefore, a particular faction or group or a particular leader or a particular group of our people on the grounds cannot say it is they are the one that has brought us to where we are today. But we must give thanks and credit to the pilots, to the captains, to the drivers, each and everyone that stand in the leadership today, maneuvering our people to the right direction. Indeed, they also need to be appreciated. And when we talk about the drivers, pilots, and the captains, some people always think that it is only the person who is on the wheel. No, for every team there is a captain, but most often the captain is not the one that scores. Most often the captain is not the one that stands in the pole to defend. Most often the captain is not the only one that stands in the back, in the defense line or in the attacker line or in the midfield. We understand that it's a collection and efforts of each and everyone, with anyone playing his own part and taking part in his own wing, doing it exactly amazing as supposed to be. That is what makes teams like Real Madrid or those good ones, for those who are still watching Champions League. That's what makes a team to arrive at the finals, because everyone played their own part very well. You have a coach outside. The civilians are our coaches today. And so you have a captain today. Just like in ADF, you have Dr. Cho Ayaba, who says that he's a captain, but he has somebody who is a real coach in the name of Benedict Kua. You have the DDCs. The DDCs for Savannah, Capo Daniel. The DDCs for Atlantic, Tapang Aivo Taanku. You have wonderful activists. The press secretary, Lucas Ashu. You do have yours here. And you have others that you already know. And so the credit goes to everyone that has worked so hard to bring us to where we are today in the journey of the Lord. Thank you so much indeed. God bless you. You are welcome. And share for the last time for all of you here. I'm seeing the sharers here. All of you that you are all here. I can see who is sharing. Kecha, welcome on board. Thank you so much. Sonita, thank you. God bless you. Ma Irene, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful motivation. Thank you. God bless you. Clifford, thank you. God bless you. Frank Eno, you are amazing. You are amazing. Fantastic. God bless you. Emily Squad, God bless you. You are a wonderful hero. God bless you. Bright, welcome. Welcome, welcome. God bless you. Felista, you are welcome. Wekejung Yawoma, welcome. The Queen of Liberation TV, for people who don't know, she's here. She is also a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful woman. Queen Nagela Gilles. Welcome. God bless you. Franklin Mba, God bless you. You are welcome. Welcome. God bless you all. Tambe, welcome. God bless you. Right? Thank you so much, SJ. God bless you. You are welcome. Joe Brown, Mercy, thank you. God bless you. All will win a day of life. God bless you. Please share and invite. You are wonderful people. History, we never forget you. Thank you so much, and God bless you. You are welcome. I see all of you. I see amazing, amazing love. I see the love button. I see the likes. I see your shares. God bless you. You are welcome. We are in this together, and we shall arrive. Glad. Thank you so much, Bemsi. Welcome. God bless you all. I see all of you. Continue to share and invite as we are about to start in the Lord's way. We shall arrive with the merciful truth. Thank you, and thank you. You are welcome. Thank you so much. You are welcome to Liberation TV. In today's reading, we are going to take it from the book of Exodus, chapter 3. Thank you so much for sharing and listening today. We have a lot of things that we are going to say after this reading. From what we saw on the grounds 1st October until today. We are going to talk only reality. We don't want anything that is fake. We are going to talk what we saw on the ground. Whatever we saw from whoever we don't like, we will say it here today. It is what it is. So thank you so much. You are welcome. So we are entering the book of Exodus. Chapter 3. Exodus chapter 3. In Exodus chapter 1, we saw how Pharaoh has ordered for each and every son born of a Hebrew, of an Israelite, should be killed. After he has failed in so many attempts, and that was not possible. In chapter 2, we saw how the mother of Moses gave birth to Moses and struggled not to kill, but as Pharaoh has ordered after failing in chapter 1 to kill everything, the mother, he ordered that any son should be thrown into the river so they can die. And Moses' mother, being a God-fearing woman, but still afraid, decided to put Moses in a basket and put afloat in the river. And because of that, Moses was seen inside a basket, and Pharaoh's daughter decided to take Moses and kept in the palace, where Moses' sister was standing afar, proposed, and they sent forth a babysitter, a nanny, to take care of Moses, indeed Moses' mother. And so in chapter 3 today, we are going to see how God appeared to Moses, and how God instructed Moses to go back and start the journey of liberation. Indeed, the journey in which we are today. Fellow brothers and sisters, about 2 to 3 years ago, Dr. Cho Ayaba was staged in London. Again, about 2 to 3 years ago, they staged Dr. Cho Ayaba in London after giving him ultimatum upon ultimatum to join by force. Something which he has not even refused. He was in the first conclave, second conclave, third conclave, and fourth conclave, where he advised even that the government should not be forming a revolution. He was there because he wanted unity. He was there because he believed in togetherness. But there is no time we have seen any leader in this struggle run behind Dr. Cho Ayaba's organized events. They have instead sabotaged every event that he organized. And for all the events that others have organized, Dr. Cho Ayaba has run behind everyone. That is why he was in the first conclave. That's why he went to Skakuf. That's why he was in the second conclave, in the third conclave, and even in the fourth conclave, where all people gathered to see how we can chart a way forward. If he was a power monger, he would have not gone for the first, second, third to fourth conclave. And if he was a power monger, he would have not advised that the issue of the government will cause chaos. Today, indeed, Seseko Ayoktabi is in Konengi. But he has not abandoned Seseko Ayoktabi. He has instead advised Ambazonian to stay away from those who impeach a leader of the people. A one who believes we might have different opinions and ideologies, but we must not have that as enmity. Indeed, he revived the ACBC that caused and manipulations and against him and the killing of General Ivo. When those activists were appearing in ACBC, he revived that ACBC. Seseko Ayoktabi, who once wrote a letter of condolence to President Paul Biya after Dr. Cho Ayaba and AATF did phenomenal to send terrorists to Tarsatan, a journey of no return. But still, Dr. Cho Ayaba stand to say, you cannot in any way judge to impeach Seseko Ayoktabi when the common law jurisdiction we want to have has not been restored. Fellow brothers and sisters, we must speak the truth as it is. Not even enough. Seseko Ayoktabi decided to he went to Washington, D.C., a conference that was supposed to take place in Canada. When people have sabotaged that conference from Canada and take it to Washington, D.C. to suit their political gains, Dr. Cho Ayaba, a man who believed in truth. Everyone was so bitter, including yours here, who was the predominant active actor in that conference. I myself, I think I thought I gave up. Dr. Cho Ayaba didn't. He flew and came to Washington, D.C. and attended for the sake of unity. He signed so many memorandums of understandings. Signed so many understanding that we shall now stand together. 7 groups come together and signed. It did not even take up to 24 hours. The same people that we know sabotage that unity. And we all saw it. But today we believe and behave as if we don't know. But we know the truth cannot hide. It's just a matter of time. And that's why we decide to read the book of Exodus chapter 3 today. Thank you so much. God bless you. And you are welcome. Thank you. You are watching Liberation TV live. Welcome. Exodus chapter 3. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. And he led the flock to the back of the desert and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire from the midst of a bush. So he looked, and behold, the bush was burning with fire, but the bush was not consumed. Then Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush doesn't burn. So when the Lord saw that he turned aside to look, God called to him from the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, here I am. Then he said, do not draw near this place. Take your sandals off your feet. For the place where you stand is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the oppression of my people who are in Egypt, and have heard their cry because their taskmasters and have heard their cry because of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. So I have come down to deliver them out of the land of Egypt, out of the land of Egyptians, and to bring them up from that land to a good and large land, to a land flowing with milk and honey. to a land flowing with milk and honey, to the place of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel has come to me, and I have also seen the oppression with which the Egyptians oppressed them. Come now, therefore, and I will send you to Pharaoh, that you may bring my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. But Moses said to God, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh, and that I should bring the children of Israel out of Egypt? So he said, I will certainly be with you. I will certainly be with you. And this shall be a sign, and this shall be a sign to you that I have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you shall serve God on this mountain. Then Moses said to God, indeed, Then Moses said to God, indeed, when I come to the children of Israel and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you. And they say to me, what is his name? What shall I say to them? And God said to Moses, I am who I am. And he said thus, you shall say to the children of Israel, I am. And you shall say to the children of Israel, I am has sent me to you. Moreover, God said to Moses, thus you shall say to the children of Israel, the Lord God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial to all generations. Go and gather the elders of Israel together and say to them, the Lord God of your fathers and God of Abraham, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob appeared to me, saying, I have surely visited you and seen what is done to you in Egypt. And I have said, I will bring you up out of the affliction of Egypt to the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, to a land flowing with milk and honey. Then they will heed your voice, and you shall come, you and the elders of Israel, to the king of Egypt, and you shall say to him, the Lord God of Hebrews has met with us, and now please let go 3 days. Let's go 3 days journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice to the Lord our God. But I am sure that the king of Egypt will not let you go. No, not even by a mighty hand. So I will stretch out my hand and strike Egypt with all my wonders, which I will do in its midst, and after that he will let you go. And I will give these people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, and it shall be, when you go, that you shall not go empty-handed. But every woman shall ask of her neighbor, namely of her who dwells near her house, articles of silver, articles of gold, and clothing, and you shall put them on your sons and daughters, so you shall plunder the Egyptians. This reading is taken from the book of Exodus, chapter 3. Thank you so much to all of you that paid attention to this, because we are in a journey, in a struggle that is exactly like that we have read in the book of Exodus. And so for time to time, we look at the book of Exodus. In chapter 4, it is very, very interesting. We might come back to chapter 4 on Thursday or tomorrow. We shall come back to chapter 4. Very interesting. When Moses argued to God about how shall the people believe that God sent him, and God showed to Moses some wonders, some miracles. In fact, God has asked Moses has a stick in his hand, a rod in his hand, and God asked Moses to throw it on the ground, and Moses did in chapter 4. As Moses threw it on the ground, it turned into a snake. Moses was very, very shy, and Moses was shocked and shy away from the snake, from the stick, and God said, no, go and grab it from the tail. Moses went and grabbed it from the tail, and what happened? It turned back into the rod. Moses said, God said, this is one of the signs. If the people don't believe you, you shall throw it on the ground. It's going to turn into a snake. You shall hold it from the tail. It will come back to the rod, and the people will believe it. But if the elders don't believe you again, you shall put your hands in your bosom and take your hand out, and your hand will be full of leprosy. And you shall put your hand back in your bosom and take it out, and your hand will be the same like other part of your body, like your flesh. And these signs, the people will believe. But if the people don't believe you, there's a third sign. You will have to take water from the river and sprinkle it in the sand, in the desert. And behold, it shall turn into blood, and the people will believe. And so in the chapter 4, the book of Exodus is very, very interesting. We shall look about that in the upcoming days. But for now, let us look at chapter 3. So in chapter 3, Moses has accepted to go in a journey, as we are seeing here, because God has told him, go, free the people. The people are suffering. Those are my people I created. Tell them I have sent you. And God has told Moses to take, and Moses has accepted. So in chapter 4, Moses will take his wife, Zipporah, and embark on such a journey with no fear of Pharaoh anymore. Because remember, Moses ran away because of the fear of Pharaoh that was going to kill him. God has also assured him that those people that surrounded Pharaoh that wanted to kill him all died. And behold, the generation of Moses, most of those people died. And so that also made him not to be afraid. Fellow Amazonians, fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, to all of you, you know the journey that we have taken is a tough and rough one. In fact, if you have heard about the Rocky Mountains, the journey we have is more than the Himalaya mountains, is more than the Mount Everest, than Mount Amazonia that even flew with lava. We have passed a lot of thorns and proofs and spines. We have passed through a lot to be where we are today. And so we cannot look back. We know it's ordained struggle. We know we have to cross that red line. But we did already. We did already. Today I was looking at one of the favorite man of God I like to follow so much. He is a bishop. He's a bishop, and I want to quote his name here. He's a Nigerian bishop, actually. Some of you will be surprised that actually I follow bishops. And he's a Nigerian bishop. I follow him not because he preached in the Lord. I follow him because he speaks some kind of truth that bishops and men of God of today do not. I've seen him associate with the traditional authorities, tradition and culture, something which most of the modern days preachers and clergymen don't do. But he is a bishop. That's what captures my attention, is that first of all, he's a bishop, and so I follow him. And today, I was looking at him. I saw him today moving, with his disciples, and he said, "Thank you, St. Teresa Parish. Thank you, Oweri, Obukpa. Thank you, everyone, Christians and non-Christians alike." There is a bishop. I don't say things that are not factual. You can see it here from the screen. This is the bishop I'm talking about. He's a bishop in a parish in Nigeria. And you can see this bishop here. He has surrounded himself with what? Soldiers of the Lord. Soldiers of the Lord. Just like David who smacked Goliath down. Bishop is moving with soldiers of the Lord. And so you cannot question why our struggle have valiant soldiers on the grounds who are making sure that our mothers and children are protected. Because God created everyone in the society with a lot of strength. Like God created Moses. Moses was a human being like you, like me. But God gave him that strength to go and talk and free the people. And so today, Mama and Papa them when I don't come today. Thank you plenty for the wonderful share when I don't share today. Mama and Papa them when I don't see the suffer for when I picking the non go. Since that time for German, since the time for 1961, where when people don't suffer, we people don't cry, we don't beg. Our grandpapa them don't beg, our grandmama them don't beg. Them beg poor people say, "Make peace, please. Forgive the people, even they don't sin. Give them peace." Poor people never listen. Now only army upon army where come say now. Before it starts saying gendarmerie national when them come call them come, them kiki with people, them concord with papa them, or with grandpapa them get wound them for tax where them can't catch me for pay tax. Then carry money for tax, then go develop the La Republique du Cameroon. Nothing, not there where they come take that tax, where they come concord our papa and mama them bill them for our picking them for we today. If our papa and mama them be show the wounds from the time of operation, what they call where this operation state of emergency, when they come declare them, they start cash our papa them, they slaughter them, they kill them. If we get through them tight, we get hospitals. If we get schools where they're reputable, if we get our common law, get our marketing board, our economy booming as it was, we nobody cry. We will say our papa and mama them sacrifice their wounds for the kind of development. If Amazon be dead like Qatar, like Dubai, like America, like New York State, when an empire state for America, we would say, well, the blood of our papa and mama them, the blood of our people, it don't pay. But we don't see today say nothing not there for Amberland. They drain everything, any single picking for oil, then take them. Papa for oil, then take them. Grandpa for oil, then take them. Grandmama for oil, then can't take them. Even picking for oil where they never born, they don't rep them. When I come study book, big book, where they call them say CIA report. CIA report now. Big book where they keep record like American government, like UK government. Now the kind thing where they come keep them, they call them say facts finding. When I come read book of this CIA report, I come see say mama and papa them. The reason why they come take, the reason why they come look how they drive Moses. Moses run from Egypt because they wanted to kill Moses. Why? Because Moses was talking the truth. And you can see that most of the people who were talking the truth were killed in Cameroon. Even Cameroon kill you. All picking them, the Bamileke people, where they for we land today, they've been a francophone. If La Republique won't kill you, all picking them, who are we foreigners to believe that Cameroon cannot kill us? Look, Bamileke people, all your baby get party when they call them say UPC, mama and papa them. We know this one. Them be one killer. In fact, don't be say them be one killer. Them kill Omyobe. Where been at the founder of that political party called UPC, where it be one original independence for La Republique and not independence where France did for you back. Cameroon versus France, they join hand with Charles de Gaulle, when now been a big do for France, where come colonize Cameroon. Them kill Omyobe, them take your head so mama and papa them. They waka for Market Square. So they Bamileke people them see them. They run away because they don't want to make them kill their own head, they put them up. Amazonia don't win because La Republic don't do the same thing today. Our people say, lie, you will kill with tire. The same thing when they do for UPC. For the first 2-3 years of this struggle. Now the same technique when they apply them. Our people say, we not be Bamileke people. We not get money for bank account where if we remain, we go the chop. When people get money for bank account, like people when they there for abroad, they don't care plenty because say, they don't want to die because they get money for bank account. But with people when they dey for ground zero, not get anything. They get zero. Not even 50,000 they have in bank account. They have nothing to lose. So they don't care. They are fighting for their freedom. But people when they don't get wealth, they start to run away because when they kill them, they not go enjoy the money. Also they run. They come for Ambaland. We papa and mama them when they get good heart, they open hands, welcome Bamalike people them. Now why they plenty for we land today. If Cameroon be one kill, you want picking them. Today, me will get sense. Say no be Cameroon, it go protect we where we be forerunner. Because say they are all picking them, they not protect them. As you become watch, sometimes when I say I talk now for olden days, make I talk for what happened 3 years ago. No, be the same Cameroon don't call kill the bishop of Bafia. When them call him say, Archbishop Young Marie Bala Benoit, Belinga and Mbutu we don't die. We been the chief in Cameroon presidency after they fire and sack General Yengo when Anglophone man where he no get sent for hate. No be them replace him with Colonel Belinga and Mbutu where we come kill the bishop, Bishop Young Marie Bala Benoit. How was he killed and dumped in the water? Cameroon government. How many times has Cardinal Christine Toomey emirated? How many times has he lost to be killed? We know what happened in St. Augustine College. How many times Cameroon wanted to kill the principal? We have seen all these sort of things. We have heard the stories upon stories, stories upon stories. Clergy people have been killed. American pastor was killed by the same Cameroon military. Ghanaian pastor, Father Cosmas, the Kenyan missionary was killed. How many men of God have been killed? We recently saw an Amazonian man of God slaughtered by Cameroon. When I don't read big book by me and Papa them, see, we get reason for court room. We don't court room, but we get reason for court. In fact, now understatement, we don't court that room since 1961. Now correcting what we don't do. God, he don't endorse them for the book of Exodus say, when the king they treat people bad, they need to court room. Now so the book of Exodus talk. Now not be we talk, not be we write Bible. Now the book of holy book of God, it talks say, when the king they treat people for this kind of way, the people need for court room. And God is going to give them some miraculous and mystical ways where they will use them for God. Now why that way God be give plagues? Before the Independence Day of Amber for 2020 where passed last week, when I see what happened for Santa, for that side for Santa, when another sees a snow don't fall, that snow is a plague to tell Pharaoh that the people are gone. That about 2 years ago, you killed and massacred and committed a big genocide in Santa. God has come to tell Ambazonians, it's a blessing for you all in Santa, in Ambazonia, to celebrate your day. Because you are gone. Because you are gone. Now the book of God come talk, no be me talk. So as the book of Exodus talk, we go follow on, we go follow on, we go follow on. As we want follow on, all the one end, we go enter. And we say goodbye to Cameroon. And the Red Sea will choke itself. And the sea will close itself. And all the remnants of La Republique and these infiltrators will be swept by the powers of the banks of the river. Fellow brothers and sisters, make no mistake. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And what we are saying now is the original vision of our liberation struggle in the light of God. Hallelujah. And so when I come read big book, mommy and papa, when I here, when I open it, because what we saw on the 1st of October on the ground reflects all these things I am talking. During the first 2 years of the struggle, we took our time to tell our people history. We know today will not be mad. Today will not be angry because people don't do exactly as the history talk. We people don't understand which way Cameroon don't take from we. And so we people now do only thing where it go free we. In fact, we are free people. Only small politics and manipulation where therefore inside we don't make we know the win bigly and fat. So when I share them, when I invite them, when I touch that love button, make it come there red like the carpet where me I turn up. When I don't see how we are turn up for holy ground, so God they preach for today. So as Moses is so fire not the burn. He said, what? How can fire be there and grass is not burning? Moses said, make I go see where this is. And the voice speak from inside the fire. Please do not come near. You are in the holy land. Remove your shoes. As Moses heard the word of God, Moses removed his shoes and bent down his head on the floor that he's not worthy to even see God. As Cameroon won't come for Amber, did you see Amber? They bring video. Cameroon they come, Amba say no come na fire. Don't come na fire. God has given that fire to Ambazonia today. The fire where God he come give for sure. Moses said, this is the first miracle. You receive fire, fire, not the burn grass. That means say na miraculous fire. Amba don't get fire today. Now God he come give. People will not know, he no go know. As God he been come give Moses staff for divide the water. God he don't give Odeshi for Amba. For any liberation struggle, there is something mysterious. Now God he create everything. Satan has never created anything. Me person not like you. I am a believer. Everything that you can see and cannot see. Animals, flower, trees, so tall. God created everything. Man and everything. Pets and animals. So don't give credit to Satan. Some of the people with the life of, oh, Satan will do this. Oh, me, I'm always like, I don't even talk about devil because he's irrelevant. And some of you give Satan a lot of trouble, a lot of credit. Anything will happen when a God make and protest you, you come to Satan. How can God be angry with us for everything that we have gone through? Let us understand that Paul Biya and Cameroon are only devil. They can only destroy, they cannot create. They can only kill our people, they can't burn our people. And so as we understand that they are devils, let us walk in the light of God. So according to CIA report, Mommy and Papa, they when they here. When we come read, say, for 1970, some American company, they will be the worker for African line. When I share them, because they want a flashback to history, why Cameroon annexed us and why the federal status. When I share them, when I invite them, may I see the love, I see you now. I don't see them, they come. Thank you, plenty, God bless you, I see them. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, thank you. So for 1970, some Americans, they don't get book for hate. How they go use for no say oil day for under this ground. They have petrol day for under this ground. They work out with equipment them. For the coast of Africa, they come close to the Gulf of Guinea, where Amazonia be the center. They come discover say petrol day for them plenty go pass. Say petrol day for they go jump. Say other place so they work out on top so now petrol day inside. Now you where that American government they come talk for Ahijo say for Cameroon, where Ahijo that time being a president. Say, hey, say these triangles where they belong to Amazonia, to southern Cameroon land, say petrol day they go jump. For 1960, where southern Cameroon, it don't go join them for La Republique du Cameroon. They come look at Amazonia, they see now only some small, slender eucalyptus tree. They come look and they see now only timber. They say this is just trees. We can plant our own. They don't see gold, they don't see diamond, they don't see nothing. They say, these one are suffering people. This land is infertile. They cannot have anything. We don't even need to sign the Union Treaty. That's why the Union Treaty was not signed, because at that time, no one has discovered Amazonia in full. And then in 1970, when the American survey company come discover, say, Amazonia get a lot of minerals, a lot of oil, they come tell Cameroon. Cameroon now has the interest to talk to Jongu Foncha. And now Cameroon now organize the Fumban Conference. Because they have discovered Victoria, petroleum in there, Ekondo Titi, bauxite. They have discovered all those things. Thank God they had not discovered the northern part of Amazonia. When I went at the camp, so as they discovered them, so Cameroon, they say, oh, this country no get money, so this country fit being a billionaire country now. Say, yeah. Now only 1970 where they come discover them. For 1972, they organized Fumban Conference. Mommy and Papa, they wanna hear witchcraft. For the Fumban Conference, they come bring some Oyobo woman. So they say make it dance with Jongu Foncha. Who I want to talk, so I like to get pictures. Say wanna see what you wear the talk. They bring some small Oyobo woman. Say make it dance with Jongu Foncha. They say make it dance with Jongu Foncha. Now here they carry the Oyobo woman. Now here they give them a shake with Jongu Foncha. No be even the crook of the matter. Time where they don't talk, so time for vote, it can't be. They say whether you believe for the right question, Mommy and Papa them. The crook of the matter now say the question where I go share the picture after this. Where when I go see her Jongu Foncha, he don't hold Oyobo so he shake so some short Oyobo where they take and put on top table. Then Jongu Foncha they look and so when I know one inter for them. Now you where them bring for side. Join what an indivisible Cameroon, we or yes. We or yes is the same thing. We or yes is like yes or yes. It was not a matter of we or no. But besides that, the politics that was done was that even if they say we or no, or yes or no, and they answer no or they answer yes, the politics is that Mami and Papa them, why they encourage Jongu Fonchas and Ambazonian to Fumban conference was because they have discovered petroleum in Amazonia. And they wanted everything possible to show love to them. Because when they went there, they say, they write in bold, they write, welcome, brothers and sisters. They write, welcome, big, and then they write, bienvenue, small in the world. But for Fumban, they don't write them big for English. It should say, we don't get power now. They carry and bring enough for our land, for southern Cameroon. It should say, for them, they feel say, now Cameroon, they can't make up we for our land. That means they will get power. We will see the kind of political manipulation when they come to us. Now, for 1972, they wipe the federal status and Cameroon become one and indivisible. They name La République du Cameroon, where they say La République, where people they talk today now, because before 1961, Cameroon was called La République du Cameroon. When we came together in 1961, plebiscite of 11 February, Cameroon became Federal Republic of Cameroon. And now when they discover petroleum, they come from Fumban conference. They now turn Cameroon to be one La République du Cameroon. They brought the name back to the same name Cameroon had before the plebiscite of 11 February 1961. And so the question is, why could they not also call it as Southern Cameroon? Because we came as Southern Cameroon. Why could they not put the name Southern Cameroon instead of La République du Cameroon? Why they choose now their own name? Because they have succeeded to assimilate us. Why? Because Cameroon was administered by France, and France have a policy of assimilation which goes with what? Education. They will take you from Cameroon like a hijo. You go to France, they send you to school, and they teach you how to be a colonial master, then they bring you back. So, in those days, France and French colonies were the ones that were imposing foreign education. The British territories were not going through any formal education. So the British were using what they call indirect rule, and only the fonts and the chiefs were the ones that we are talking to people. So in the Anglo-Saxon regions of Africa, the education was not well reinforced. That's a fact, and that's a crook of the matter. And so now those that understand Western education could play politics very smartly because they have been taught to be politicians. So the John Bufonchas didn't know about that. They thought that if you sit and talk with your brother, it is genuine. And so what is the crook of the matter in this case? To prove to you that Cameroon wiped the federal status because they have discovered petroleum in our land. As a big book for CIA report talk, they wiped the federal status in 1972. Mama and Papa them. 5 years later, they opened Sonara in 1977. In 1977, they come open Sonara refinery. They start the thief with petrol. They put machinery where everybody thief petrol. Common papa for petrol, grandpapa for petrol, mommy for petrol, and pikin for petrol. For 1977, mommy and papa were here witchcraft. They can't push Sonara. Mommy and papa them out. I read this one, I want faint. For 1979, Cameroon the thief 100,000 barrels of petrol from our land. This is the crook of the matter. If you did thief 100,000 barrels of petrol, mommy and papa will not sabi what it is. For every single day, for that time where they still use now olden days machinery. They still use now some kind olden style extraction machine where they come out petrol for ground. Cameroon is the thief from Amazonia in 1979, just 7 years after assimilation, 7 years after they wipe our federal status. Now they get the power to come to our land and do whatever they can do. They did thief 100,000 barrels of petrol, 100,000 drums of petrol. Mommy and papa will not understand what they talk. Not be saying that for 1 year they can't carry up. Not be saying that for 1 month. Not be saying that for 1 week. Mommy and papa, it means say for every single day, Cameroon did thief 100,000 drums of petrol out of Amazonia. If someone will not understand this, why will I not go leave all this in-house fight? We will get our freedom. Do you see why I have been shouting against those creating in-house Amazonia, the money that we will have is billions that we develop our land. Some of the people don't even know, say, United Nations is keeping billions of Amazonia decolonization money. I will go into that one. United Nations has billions of decolonization development money that was kept for Amazonia, Southern Cameroon. Some of you people don't even know. Those are the benefits of our independence. When we don't arrive them, Mami and Papa them, there are billions of money that is entitled to Southern Cameroon that was not touched because the United Nations did not trust Ahidjo and did not trust Biya. Biya has done everything possible to take that money. That he wants to reconstruct Amazonia. United Nations has not given a single franc to Biya because that money is entitled to Southern Cameroon. But because they were the legitimate leadership, then United Nations decided not to give that money. We have billions of decolonization money still kept in the United Nations coffers. That money belongs to Amazonian people. When we gain our independence, trust me, what I'm saying here, a certain Sister Rita, who worked for the Catholic Humanitarian Commission, are aware. Cardinal Christian to me is aware of what I'm talking here. At the time when Cameroon was leading some commission to sign, they wanted, I think, 5,000 signatures or something like that for that money to be given. Something happened. Oh, when the British man was the UN Secretary General, Tony Blair. Some of you don't know history. When the UN Secretary General, Tony Blair was the UN Secretary General, there was a movement that the Southern Cameroonians were moving to be signed, led by the Catholic Church Humanitarian Commission, where Cardinal Christian Toomey was even one of the leaders. What happened? The motion was already almost signed and finished and finalized that the money will be handed to Southern Cameroonians to develop Southern Cameroon, surveyed by the Catholic Church. What happened to Tony Blair? They said there was a scandal. Tony Blair was staged by France. Tony Blair was staged by France because UK has been blamed for the atrocities of Southern Cameroon. And that was the end. UK wanted to finish it through Tony Blair. Tony Blair was staged. The scandal that Tony Blair left power without time was staged by France. And because Tony Blair was kicked out because of that staged scandal, the nation failed and Southern Cameroon could not have their dues. If you don't know the history of your people, you will not know why some of us are pushing for what we are pushing today. When you know all these facts and evidences, you continue to strive, to fight. No matter whatever happened, you look for solutions. That's why some of us will not give up. In our communities, in our localities, because we know what our people are going through. Some of us have been humanitarians before this war. Don't forget, 2012, we don't do. Our people know us. 2013, 14, 15, before war 16, we don't go for the grounds. Our people know us. Our people see us. And everything that we do, our people see us. And so sometimes we take a look and we laugh at some people who do not understand exactly what the people are entitled to. And so when you don't know those things, you will be one of those people that are living much on past glories. You will not understand the reality. You will not understand the truth because you don't know the history. But when you know the history, you will speak the truth even if it hurts you. Look, some of us have been there. We have known the problems of our people. It's not today that we are talking about the suffering of our people. We have known it. We have been there. We have been on the ground. Even before this struggle. This is 2016. As you can see here. And on the ground. This is 2016. This is with the communities. Talking with parents. Signing scholarship for the children to go back to school. We do not talk what we don't know. We know what our people have suffered to. Look. This is here. Signing documents and papers for our children. For your children, some of them are orphans that belong to your localities. For them to go back to school. Have a scholarship. For them to have a life. For them to know that there is future. Some of us are not talking things that we don't know. We are talking things that we have done. Things that we know. Things that we see. We don't say things that we do not know. We don't say things that we don't understand. Look, this is 2012. Back in 2012, when I had nothing. But I still care for these children. I go there, I see them, I teach them information IT when I'm not even a teacher. Volunteering in communities. And so when we talk today like this, and some people think that you can go to communities and do things the bad way, when it just takes us a little phone call to that community and tell them this is the best thing to do because they know who you are before the war. That's why I tell the people of Bui, please, there should be equal coexistence to all the forces in Bui. And when you stand against it, I just take my phone call and call under the village development president, community president, the leader of the traditional authorities. I talk to them and that's it. Because we are the humanitarian of the people. And so when we talk like this, we will still be there tomorrow. Because look, in 2012, 13, 14, 15, and 16, nothing was motivating me to be doing what we were doing for our communities. And don't think that it is now when those communities need us the most that we shall give up. Even if our people go suffer for 30 years, we shall be with them. Even if they go suffer for 10 years, we shall be with them. And we want to make sure that the suffer does not stay longer. That's why we are there. That's why we have been there. And that's why we continue to be there. Because if you understand, say for 1979, Cameroon be thief we 100,000 drums of petrol every day. For Monday, they thief 100,000 drums. Tuesday, 100,000 drums. 100,000. Look, I say 1,000. 100,000. We don't know 100,000. We don't know the count money, no. 10,000 to 1,000 drums. 100,000 drums. When they come thief for we. Every single day, Monday, Tuesday, and they know they get weekend, no. They did thief Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They did thief all these things. Now, I come read now for 2006. For 2006, I come read say, even as we talk, Cameroon still did thief 65,000 drums every day. 65,000 drums every day they still did thief. If you understand that people are suffering to have their resources today, and Cameroon still the thief. They have put pipes. The pipes are under the ground, taking it to Douala. Some of you don't know. They don't put pipes. Now the pipe, now the collector. Now Chinese company where they come give that 4 billion contract. Some of you don't read them. For 2013, Cameroon be no say Amazonia will go into fire, into flames. For 2013, Cameroon come hire some Chinese company, give them 4 billion. Them come up on the ground, pull pipes. When I think say Cameroon no the thief oil, Cameroon the thief oil now, so I was the top. The oil they come on now for underground pipe. They go inside Douala. For every group in this struggle, when they know that think about how to do, if you take the think every day and night, how our people they sleep for bush, Cameroon the thief resources, you don't get plan for end that. If you don't get plan to end that. Now we are don't talk about who get plan to end that. You want the map of the pipes I have? I will show you. In fact, it's in the internet. It's everywhere. But we can stop that. Cameroon see the thief. Look at our cocoa. Cocoa board they do fine. They can't wipe out because they know when we get money. Thank God say because our people don't get money today. They don't get anything for loss. They are holding sticks. They are holding grass strongly and bigly. If our people we don't get money, therefore the suffer they don't say But how the folk even get money where they don't get jobs? They don't get anything. Is that not a noble reason why the people have to stand up? Yes, some people don't understand. Small money where people pull up. Go and liberate them. You carry the money, do your own thing for abroad. Now, we don't listen for the book of Exodus chapter 3. Excuse. What is the responsibility of the people? I don't show you the kind bishop where they follow for Naja. In the work as okay, you see the church Ekelebe for your own side. That means that the Catholic Church get Ekelebe where they protect the bishop. What about we? We don't read say, no be Samson, no be Gideon. We don't hear say David, he be smart Goliath. He kill Goliath. We never hear say David be kill Goliath now only by praying, by standing, by kneeling down, by crying. He used a weapon and fashioned against Goliath, and it is prospered. David had to fashion a weapon against Goliath, and that weapon prospered. He used a bow and arrow against Goliath, and Goliath went down. Who are we, the God-chosen people, not to use a golden staff like Moses? God has sent plagues upon plagues to the Egyptian. God has sent a lot of mystical things, frogs, termite, everything, locusts, to the Egyptian people as plagues. Thunderstorms, snowstorms fall to let the people go. And today we have all these things written in the book of the Lord for us to follow. That's how a liberation struggle is being done. We have read in the book here how David took his life from the hands of Goliath. We have read in this book here how Moses killed an Egyptian who was killing an Israelite. We are reading the book here how they left and went on a journey. And on that journey, there were days where they were starving, they were hungry, they were losing hope. But it took Moses, a good leader, to restore the hope of the people. Fellow brothers and sisters, what are we doing is our turn today to free our own people. How are we supporting the army of the people? How are we supporting the people who are standing on the ground? Us in diaspora, when we collect money to deliver, do we deliver? And when we don't deliver, do we come and tell the people why we don't deliver? Have we ever for once apologized to the people when we fail to deliver? Have we ever for once even spoken to the people when we don't do? And when the people ask questions, have we responded positively? Look, I can say because we are in a revolution, we might not be guilty because we have never gone to a school of this. But we have to learn every single day. So no one should be condemned. It's an act of struggle like this. No one has gone to a school of revolution. But we just have to learn. No one is going to condemn us when we accept things and learn and talk to the people. We are going to be different. The people will not listen to Paul Biya and his cabal because we are different. That is exactly the vision and the mission we have to partake in. And when we go on such a journey, do not look at sale prices. Don't even care about credits. Look, today when I look at the force of the Mandelas and the Mandela Spirit and the Vanguard, I am asking myself, did this vision come through me or it came through somebody else? Because I cannot even imagine whatever transpired that ended up in the Mandelas. It was just because people wanted to wipe some leaders from the struggle. I saw enormous effort used not to fight against the enemy but to destroy somebody that for the past years has been telling us that that is the way out, that they have tried all the protests and the protest has not worked, that Cameroon has even killed their own Bamileke people, killed their own bishop. What will Cameroon do to foreigners like Southern Cameroon? And they said the only way out was take your sovereignty. And there's no country on earth without their own arm. There's no country on earth without their own coat of arms. There's no country on earth without protection. No country on earth without security. No country on earth without defend. Why would Amazonia be different? You have seen the bishop moving with his own security forces. And you saw the Israelite people guided by Moses, the great fighter. Because Moses was the great fighter who is beat the hell out of the enemy and kill the enemy and bury it in the sand. That's why God chose him to guide his own people. Who will smack a golden staff in the water and separate into two. The people will pass across and he will smack it and close and the enemies will be swiped away. Who are we to be different from what the book of God tells us? That is exactly what we have to think today. Mommy and Papa, they will want to watch. And so I take this time, I bless everyone for the wonderful work where we don't do it. The credit goes to our people in Ground Zero first. The civilian population receive the first credit because say the civilian population that them get this struggle. That's why we have seen in Kambe, where the colonial master is speaking and the video has gone to the United Nations now, to the United States. The video has gone to Amnesty International, to the Reuters, to see how colonial masters are increasing the cost of their occupation and forcing our people to comply by fire, by force, and saying bitterly that as the people have practiced self-determination, which is the people's human rights, they have gone to threaten them that no self-determination is allowed for them. And now, the people love their self-defense forces and the people move behind their own self-defense forces, which again is international rights. The colonial masters will dice them. A lot of dismay can now come and spew some kind of hate, anger in public, and that continue to expose the enemy. Look, when God wants to destroy the cabal, when God wants to destroy the demon, he empties the pride of the enemy in public. Like it is being said that the last kid of the diamonds are always dangerous. It's time for the republic. The dangerous time is soon gonna be over. Look, we saw what we saw 1st October. The bottom line at this time is, yes, there is no faction that control 100% Amberland today. In the book of Exodus chapter 4, you shall see that even though we talk about Moses, that Moses was not alone. When Moses complained to God that naturally he couldn't speak so well, he was not fluent, even though God said he would be with him and control his mouth and his lips, God decided to send Aaron beside him. Aaron was a stammerer. But God also washed the lips of Aaron and his mouth. So you see, it's a collective effort. And today you can also see that there is no one group or faction in this struggle that control all entire ground zero. That is a fact. We have credible group in ground zero that control the majority part, like ADF, the Amazonia Defense Forces. They control the majority areas. We have the concept of the community school. That's some people we are talking about, the school resumption, wanting people to resume schools under Cameroon government controlled education system. The same colonial masters that the same people are banning, but they want the schools to open under the watch eyes of which pedagogic animators and under the watch eyes of which educational delegates. And you know now that any officer of Cameroon, any Cameroon civil worker comes to Amazonia now as a general, as a colonel in armored vehicles with bulletproof and guns. You have seen DOs moving with guns. You have seen councillors of CPDM moving with guns. You have seen CPDM mayors, Ekema, and the rest. All of them have guns. How do you think that pedagogic animators, headmasters, headmistresses, government teachers will come without guns? Some people don't have brain. Some people have lacked they say salvation is personal, but some people have even lost their personalities. Without a personality, you don't even have salvation. Because for you to have salvation, you must be a person. Some people have lost that dignity of being a human being. And so when you talk about school resumption, it has proven that there is a faction in this struggle that has been thinking about children going back to school since this struggle started. It shows the proof that as some people are crying that it is good for our children to go to school, as if they have forgotten that lawyers and teachers went to street for a good and quality education system. They are talking as if it is not because of lack of good education that our lawyers and teachers, Wilterson Wilfred, the Secretary General of CACTU, took all the teachers and lay schools and joined to go out on the street to manifest for a quality education system. And some of these activists that lack memory, that lacked respect, that have desecrated activism and desecrated the against struggle, will come out and say, Cameroon government, come and reopen the schools. Why would you cry about school resumption at a time when Cameroon is doing everything possible for school to resume? Why would the Cameroon government deal be moving in Dongamantum, in Gabu, where they kill more than 25 of our children, and forcing the same civilians who are still mourning their loved one to go and clear the bushes of the school for their children who are remaining to go back to school, and some of them don't even have parents. At the same time, some activists are crying for school resumption. How can this be happening? Is it a coincidence? It has not been a coincidence. It has not been. Cameroon has successfully manipulated and infiltrated the minds of those people. They might be Amazonians, but their minds now has been controlled by Cameroon political path. It is called a political path. Cameroon has set a political path and they fell into it knowingly or without knowing. It is politics. They don't know. Now they think that they are doing the right thing, but they are not. They don't know. The teachers are going to come as military. Cameroon government will send the military to be teachers and headmasters, headmistresses and delegates. They will be colonels. What happened when these people deployed to Amazonia? That they ran away. What happened? Cameroon is going to increase their military and army, indirectly moving in civil and conducting everything. When you have the children and you control the children of the people, of the civilians, it means that you have the civilians in your hand. Children talk a lot. Children cannot keep secret. And you want the children to go and be in the hands of Cameroon. And you want safety and you want liberation. Some people have lost their brain. Before Gambia got their independence, have you read what Gambia sacrificed? Some people don't believe in sacrifice in this life. That's why they can take money from the enemy to open TV stations, to open newspapers, and so on and so forth. Some people don't believe that for everything on earth you want to have, you must sacrifice. Look at Japan today. Japan fought and won the First World War. The Second World War, Japan almost defeated, if not of atomic bomb, Japan could have still been the second world power. The world power after Second World War and First World War. But look at Japan development today. Can you tell that Japan people don't have education? Japan does not put more effort in conventional education, by the way. Japan put only more effort on workshops and technical education. In Japan, at the age of 20, a child is already an engineer. Because they put more effort on technical education and not this useless pen and papers, code wearers. Do you see Japan people wearing code every time? But you have seen Japan people be the high-tech, high-performance engineers on earth. Cars are produced in Japan. Japan fought World War I, World War II. Countries that did not fight even World War I and World War II. Can they even produce a bicycle of their own? Don't challenge Amazonian people because of the children not going to school today. Because the people of Ghana, of Gambia, the people of Gambia have good wisdom today. Gambia has the highest court in Africa is in Gambia. But this is the same Gambia that fought 23, 24, 25 years ago and took their destiny from Senegal. Their children were sacrificed, no school. Now they have the best school. I have one of the best lawyers, justice in Amazonia, who is in Gambia. Maybe some of you don't know that. Practicing in Gambia. I also, in Eritrea, the same thing happened. Look at all these countries who never even had war. Look at African countries who didn't fight the First World War or Second World War. What do they have? Can they produce a knife, an aluminium knife of their own? Can they make a machete in their country? Some countries cannot even, they have bauxite, but they can never even process bauxite to any aluminium sheet. But they have never had any war. You have countries that fought war. Their talents expanded. They learned the hard way. You cannot take it away from them again. Because they learn and invest more in technical education. In Africa, how many technical schools exist? And even when you have children, how many parents in Africa are educated to send their children to technical education? They believe in conventional education, which cannot give a child any handwork. Even if you go and obtain your PhD, you still have to go for employment. You cannot have a startup. But any child who graduates from a workshop in technical education, be a carpenter, a builder, or a mechanic, is going to open a workshop and start enjoying life, having his woman and taking care of his own children. This is what we are going to have in Amber. Don't worry. If our pikin they go school, for how many years when they don't go get masters, you get job? If our pikin fee come on after 4 or 5 years of no school, they go to technical school, graduate and open workshops, have a garage, have a carpentry workshop and a building company, construction company, and start have their women and their children start live good life. Is that not a blessing from God? God do not give human beings what they cannot handle. God has never given human beings what they cannot handle. So the question of Amazonians and education, we know that. Our kids are being taught lessons. Some people don't know that. Some of us are aware because we are some of the pillars behind what you saw. And we work so hard to have that happen. But we give all the praises to our civilian population because those are their children. And they decide where they want their children to go. If they want their children to go to Clare Public schools, of course they will do. They want their children to go to Amber schools, Amber community school, they let their children to go there. And you see, that is a fact. You just set your policies and principles, work on your principles, let your people see the way you are working different from that republic. Example, the ADF does not kill civilians. ADF do not kidnap civilians for ransom. ADF do not torture civilians. In any way where a little excess happen, we fall there and we talk with communities and fix it immediately. We also believe that our ADF are not angels. We also know they are not saints. Wherever there is a little bit of friction, we all step there and fix the situation with our communities until the essence where the community must be satisfied. Example, it happened in Gusang. And now you see the Gusang of today is not the Gusang of yesterday. So we accept anything that happened, we fix. What defines you is not who you are, but how you behave and your attitude when problems arise. Your attitude that you behave when there are problems. You don't deny a problem. When the problem comes, you have to acknowledge the problem. Where you are acknowledging it as your fault or whatever, you have to accept there is a problem. Whether you are accepting and taking that you are the one, you have to accept, you don't deny a problem. But you have children that are moving on the ground, kidnapping family members, taking money, ransom, and killing even civilians, and their leaders cannot even caution them. And when you successfully bring the leaders in the meeting, they tell you on your affair is one and indivisible this. The same word Cameroon told us. Epiukwa, they will tell us the same things in the meetings, even in our own dialects. And they expect civilians to stand behind them. And then the innocent guys on the ground that are our brothers that are being manipulated, then La Republic start killing them and wiping them one by one. Because civilians don't want anything that kills them. And civilians will use direct or indirect ways to make sure that they eliminate what is killing them. And for some civilians, when they don't like to see the action of some of these guys, they can even collaborate with the enemy to wipe them out, and then they stand with the real soldiers of Amazonia. I've seen that in so many places where we thought that civilians were against Amba, but one civilian bundled the bad guys and gave it to the hands of the enemy, and the enemy do whatever the enemy do with those civilians. Civilians turn back from the enemy and embrace their own real leaders. We have seen it in so many places. That's why the art of war is very complex for you to understand. Sometimes we are afraid that civilians have turned back to the enemy side. No, the civilians use also strategies. Whenever civilians cannot take whatever, if you are killing civilians and you are taking ransom from civilians, torturing civilians and raping civilians, civilians will sacrifice you to devil. And when the devil takes you, civilians will make a U-turn to God. It is a strategy that civilians have used. We have seen it in multiple places. But sometimes we are afraid that it's taking a U-turn, that civilians don't know what they are doing. Civilians have proven that they are the government of this struggle. As you are all listening to me today, from various factions where you are, either you advise your own factions and be their own vanguards, either you advise your own factions and be their own Mandelas, and teach them never to dare the civilians, to advise civilians, protect civilians, and show them every good things against La Republic, so that even one day when any black leg come out in that community, civilians are the one to run to you and tell you that man is a black leg. Civilians are the one even to report to you, so that whatever you do to that civilians will just with that black leg, civilians will clap hands. I want to give General Ayeke a clap for this one. No be say I endorse, or no be say General Ayeke na ADF. It no be ADF. Last time when General Ayeke moved in his communities and butchered the plantains and whatever of the black legs, people were saying that, oh, Ayeke has lost it, oh, Ayeke is against the people. But Ayeke communicated with his community, and it was the civilians that reported those guns to General Ayeke. So General Ayeke moved and did what the community wanted him to do, and some of us did not know. So some of us were like, oh, Ayeke is committing this. But it is good to condemn, because some of the people who don't know it's a strategy will copy it and do the same in their communities. So General Ayeke worked with his own people, hand in hand, and the people pointed to him. The council of the people said, these are the black legs in this community. And they agreed in their council. And they went and did what they did. And some people from other areas who did not understand what a strategy started fighting against General Ayeke. 1st October proved that General Ayeke and his people are like this in Wabani, wherever he is. Alu, Wabani. General Ayeke and his people are like this. That means that whatever Ayeke does, he do it for his people in likeness of his people. Because if he was against his own people, the people will not be behind him. Hallelujah. That is the merciful truth I want you to be able to believe today. I know it is so bitter for you. I know you don't expect me to say this, but that is the truth you cannot cover. That is the truth we cannot cover. What am I here to say? We should all pay attention to our blogs, mind about our blogs, and when you see things coming from areas not controlled by us, even though we might condemn some acts, we should be very cautious. There are certain things that they are being done because the civilians agree that should be done in their community. Secondly, in the area of Batibo, we have seen General King Commando. He liked to be called King Commando. Look, these guys have given their lives for the sake of their civilian population. Whether he wants to call himself a king or whether he wants to call himself a pope, how does that concern you? You want Paul Biya to be called King of Kings? If Paul Biya should be crowned as King of Kings, better Free Marshal or King Commando can be called himself as king. I don't care. What I care is How do you treat your population? That is what I care. Now, you have King Field Marshal, whom I don't know. I have not seen him. We did not see him. The Red Dragon, we did not see. If somebody have the outfits of the Red Dragons, me, I want to see to make sure they are okay. I have not seen it. So if Field Marshal and his communities are doing great, the civilians would have not run to General Ayeke. If the civilians ran to General Ayeke, it means General Ayeke was the one that was doing what the civilians want to see. And if they run away from King Field Marshal, it means that King Field Marshal was not doing what the people want to see. Now, you have another king in Batibo called King Commando. And the civilians were with him. Whether King Commando has done certain excesses in the past. One day we saw King Commando apologizing to his people. We saw one day when King Commando came out, apologized to his people when he discovered that those people in diaspora wanted to kill him. When Chico Joseph also confessed how they wanted to use him against other places because they hate Seseku Ayuk Tabi. From the time Chico Joseph spoke so well about Batibo and exposed the bad people in Batibo, King Commando and his people came back and re-strategized, and his people started taking care of him. We saw King Commando with his civilians. It means that King Commando has fixed the issues he had with civilians. At one point, we saw civilians running away from Batibo because of King Commando. But today, first in history, we see the same civilians now standing with him. It means that he is not a saint. He is not a bishop, just like ADF soldiers are not saint and bishop. He has fixed his problem with his people. We saw what happened with Big Number. At one time, there were excesses that were reported from Gusan area. We saw that the civilians and even the traditional leaders were having some mixed feeling about Big Number, the ADF Supreme Commando. That is a fact and that's a reality. Big Number went back to the civilians population, made a video, begged for forgiveness for whatever has happened, whether he was wrong or whether he was right. Big Number just did a tolerance video and begged the people and said, let us move forward. The ADF hierarchy contacted the civilian population and the traditional leader. I want to thank Capo Daniel for that, and I want to also give a lot of credit to Dr. Cho Ayaba for calling also the traditional authority in Busan and talking to them. They work hand in hand and talk to civilians, and everything that happened, they appeal and apologize, and Big Number apologized. Yesterday, we saw the civilian population behind Big Number. There was no fear. He sat and did not even, everything was so nice, beautiful, with thousands, millions, more than 2 million population behind him. It means that he is together with his community today. These are facts, and this is reality. In the state of Bui, we saw what happened in the state of Bui. In 2018, the people of Bui were radicalized against the ADF. The people of Bui were radicalized in 2018 against the ADF 2 years ago. The ADF was seen as the enemy. Because of my works in Bui, my charity works in Bui, the people of Bui know who I am. I am a humanitarian for the people of Bui. I turned around and told them the enemy is working to divide their own children and kill their own children. From 2 years ago, all the messages I sent to the people of Bui has come to pass, and they discovered I have been the only consistent activist in Bui 24/7 in all their WhatsApp groups, every week sending messages that are consistent for the past 2 years. And behold, what I told the people of Bui, they have seen it. The enemy wanted to kill just your own children. At the end of the day, your children will be the one that will die. The people of Bui saw it because they wanted to wipe ADF from Bui. More than 60 civilians have been killed in the state of Bui over the past 2 years. Because the people who wanted to wipe the ADF from Bui, they themselves have lost their lives. Shaja is gone. Mano Tiger is gone. After they have killed Pa Tam Fomi, Vitaya, Shafe, Bajoro, Tamiro, a bunch of civilians kidnapped from Jakiri to Vekovi, killed. One of the ADF soldiers that we succeed to free him. He narrates how he's seen the civilians of Bui languishing in the jails for 4 months. 4 months in chains in the jail. I have shocking messages to reveal to Amazonian people in days ahead. Civilians whose foods are already rotten, their families cannot see them in Bui, in a jail controlled not by ADF. During the Independence Day preparation, Jakiri was to make a massive Independence Day commemoration. I come from Jakiri. But the mission commander that I had put in Jakiri in charge of everything was kidnapped. They kidnapped him. The mission commander that we had put in Jakiri was kidnapped, not by La Republique du Cameroon. He was released shortly after 3 days of being kidnapped. You see, and so when you take the children of the civilians, how do you think that even if you stand on the street, civilians will come to you? How do you think that even if you give a cup of water for civilians to drink, they will take? They know you are poison. If you can kidnap your own brothers, kidnap civilians, why can you give civilians what is not poisonous? Do you see why civilians are running away from some people? It's because of your action. You kidnap a soldier because you don't like him, but you've forgotten that he's a son of a civilian. You've forgotten that he has a big compound. And you've forgotten that his big compounds also have friends. And his friends also have other big compounds. How do you build safety for yourself when you make big compounds to hate you? And you know that once big compounds hate you, you are finished, you are done. Because civilians all belong to big compounds in Bui. You know the short culture very well than I do. Do you? Don't you? And so when you create enemies upon enemies, when you kill one ADF soldier, one soldier has a parent. There's a mother and a father. The father comes from another big compound. The mother comes from another big compound. And they also have some families that they are related to. When you kill their grandson, the big compound of the mother also rely on the fruitness of that grandson. And the big compound of the father rely on the fruitness of that grandson. That grandson also have a wife. He was already doing the knockdown. And the family, the big compound of the wife also rely on some fruitness from that son. You just go and kill him. You have made more than 5 big compounds to hate you. I told them the same things I've been telling them for more than 2 years. How surprisingly is it for you that the ADF image, the ADF that was addressed to me some 6 months ago as only 5% in Bui? Is it surprising to some of you that the ADF that I was told that is 5% in Bui has emerged with a community school? That the civilian population have decided to surrender their children into the hands of the same ADF they are living in the bushes. Is that a surprise to some of you people? It's not a surprise to me because we know the reality. It's not even some kind of hard work. It's just the truth. When you speak the truth, you don't need to work hard for it. You only work hard when you tell lies. Because you have to protect your lives. When you speak the truth, you don't need anything to defend the truth. If General Hassan has spoken lies, the civilian population will not abandon their children to him. Hallelujah. Inshallah. Mashallah. If the caporal has spoken lies, civilians will not have abandoned their children to caporal. If Ebube has spoken lies, the civilian population could have been against them. Civilian population once understood that as Cameroon was doing everything possible to hate all other political parties, the time of liberation has come and Cameroon has done everything possible to make all the factions to hate each other. But some of the factions are falling for it. The ADF remains, the agency remains so good because they understood Cameroon wanted us to have a civil war so they can turn this conflict into a civil conflict. And then they will say intertribal wars. Cameroon wanted this to be intertribal wars. That's why they wanted to, they killed the commanders of Meme, of Mizam, of Momo, of Boyo in Bui. Why? They wanted to cause a war between Bui, Ngoketunja, Meme, Momo, Mizam. They wanted that the war to be between these tribes. And when that happened, Cameroon will say, look, it is intertribal war. It's not a war against Cameroon. It's not a war of liberation. The ADF, with a lot of massive force on the ground, understand that if they turn their force to fight indoor house, we have lost this journey. The ADF stay cool and pray and beg God to continue to take away those negative energies. And some of us are humanitarian, we also understood that. At a time when the anger was boiling that enough is enough, the state of Bui cannot kill more than 30. I stood as a humanitarian for Amazonia, for Southern Cameroon. I stood as an activist, as a humanitarian to say, look, not under my watch shall I see my brothers being killed because of manipulation from their own leaders. Did I not do everything possible to summon their own leaders? I did. I actually had a meeting with some of them. I know what they told me. They say ADF was 5%, and if they say ADF is 10%, it's an overstatement, and that's why they wanted to kill them, or they should surrender and come under them because they are a minority. Cameroon want to finish Southern Cameroon because they are a minority, 20% to Cameroon. And then my own brothers in Bui want to finish some of their own brothers because they are minorities. What's the difference between that and Cameroon? I remember the last phase when they have killed more than 30, all those guys. In fact, I talked to my older brothers and sisters whom I think that we have the same journey. They were emotional. They refused to go talk to those people. They say we cannot talk to murderers. We cannot talk to killers. Which I understand they were speaking from emotion. I knew that was emotion as part of the human. When they have killed your own children, you are not going to be, oh, I want to talk to that killer. But with wisdom, a man of wisdom will say, well, I have 5 children, 3 have been killed, 2 are remaining. I know they have killed the majority of my children. Should I be emotional and reject the dialogue that can save the 2 children, even if it means talking to the devil? As a humanitarian, I already know how to break peace. I'm a peace broker. I know how, as a humanitarian by nature, we do not act emotionally when things have happened that demand the highest emotion. I want to thank the Secretary General for ADF. This is a man to trust. I want to thank Sheikh Abiwo Melim. He's a man to trust. These are people that get me going at a time when I could also give up. I want to thank Secretary General for ADF. This is a man who is not from Bui. But this is the man who accepted to come behind me when I have been abandoned by my own brothers and sisters because of emotions. That is history that is recorded. And we went and talked and discussed. Because we went there, he is my witness. I can tell you that these people meant evil. They wanted to wipe out ADF. They told it in front of me. If it was under me, no one will ever believe that. The SJ spoke and even cried. And said, these are your own children, you want them to fight? And cried. SJ spoke and cried for the first time. Just for peace to come to Bui. And people rejected it. The next coming 2 days, they started a journey to kill me and assassinate me in Nigeria. Why? Because I have brought them in a meeting with another person that is a man in the struggle for years and understand everything. Because I knew that now I have come to a meeting and my voice is powerful in Bui. They want to kill me in Nigeria. Hallelujah. Today, the worst thing that happened to humans is very complex to understand. After the wonderful Independence Day commemoration, this is a merciful truth. You have the children on the grounds, the soldiers calling, Amba Dangute, thank you, Amba Dangute, thank you, Amba Dangute, Dangote, thank you, Dangote, thank you, young rich man, thank you, young rich nigger, thank you, and thank you, which I don't even accept that. I said, give the thanks to the civilian population who allowed their children to stand with you. Some of the people are abroad, when they cried that the children need uniforms, what did you do? When the teachers cried that they need more funds to make sure that the children come, what did you do? The Independence Day has come. What have you done for them? Or only thing you want to do is use the images. The Independence Day have come. How many people are still going to continue to give the children and teachers pen and books and materials? How many people are willing to adopt those teachers that we like to see when we saw the videos? Some people are going to adopt the teachers and feed them, provide for them. And when they call their names tomorrow, you will come and say, why are people only calling this name? Why is some person saying, claiming and saying that it's him, it's him, it's him? That is the truth of the matter. I want to warn the few people. I've heard you. I know what you have said in the past. The people so love me and they bring me everything. You talk to them, they laugh with you, but after you, they come to me and say, look, that person was saying that you are taking credit for what happened in the great state of Bui. The same people who rejected to go to talk for dialogue for peace, to come to have ADF to where it is, where some people have spent millions to have what is in Bui today. They are not even talking about it. I know you have done your great things too. But look, there's a story of a man that was driven from a land because he committed crimes. Or they thought he committed crime. So they excommunicate the person out of that land and gave him a cross, a long cross to carry. And the cross was so heavy. And They say he would travel and go to a certain land. He didn't know how far, but they say that land they described to him and gave him a long cross and said he must take all this cross to that land. That was his only punishment. He has to carry that cross. That was done in those days of Jesus Christ. Remember, Jesus was punished with the cross and the thieves. That was the punishment in those days. It was not only for Jesus. It was like the legislation, the punishment. And so this guy was moving with the cross, and the cross was so heavy, and then he decided to cut the cross. He cut the cross, and then it was light. It was lighter for him to carry, so he carried the cross. We don't know whether he cut and threw the other part, or he put it in his own pocket, or whatever he did with it. But the thing was, take the cross in full and go to the land which you are supposed to go, as we have described to you. The cross was heavy. He cut the cross on the way. And then finally he saw the land, very excited. He went close to the land and he saw the river. He went round and discovered that that land was surrounded by a river. There is no bridge. And then he discovered that the cross they gave to him was his bridge. He had already cut the cross. He cut his bridge. You will fight in this struggle. You will be a hero. You will be the father of soldiers, the mother of soldiers, the wife of soldiers, the husband of soldiers, the uncle to soldiers, the auntie to soldiers, the grandma to soldiers, the grandpa to soldiers, the pikin for soldier. But there is one day that they need you, the day of negotiation for peace to come, so that your soldier can live. That is the highest day they need you. You have done so great to carry the cross, but because it's so heavy, you cut the cross. But you have forgotten that that cross have a meaning, because there is the river that you have to step into that cross and cross the river so that you can be free. And then you cut the cross and carry it lightly. When you refuse to go for dialogue that will free your own children and free your own soldiers on the ground, you have done the highest evil than what you have done to yourself, not even to them. Because somebody somehow like me or any other person will continue the talks. The fruit will come. You have to put your ego down. You have to put your reputation down. When it concerns life and death, there is nothing like, oh, my reputation, I cannot do this. Even if you have to talk to, look, we are crying that we need to negotiate with the terrorist Paul Biya. In that case, you cannot see with Paul Biya if you don't take the people's blood into you. We are crying that we have to negotiate with the grand terrorist Paul Biya. It means that there is no terrorist in Ambaland, even if we call a terrorist, that we cannot talk to. Therefore, at this juncture, I call each and every leader in the struggle to think about the blood of our people. Look, when we negotiate and dialogue with each other, does not mean that we have accepted the ideology of each other. When we negotiate and dialogue with each other, it doesn't mean that you are wrong. It doesn't mean that you are right. It doesn't mean that the person is wrong. It doesn't mean that the person is right. You are only trying to find a balance where you can have your own ideology, but please, I will not fight against yours and you will not fight against me. In that, it is called an indirectly power sharing. It is a power sharing. When you can allow me to be in my blocks with my own community, and you are in your own blocks with your own community, and we do not hurt each other, and we don't talk against each other, and we don't fight each other. It is already what we call power sharing. And so we should encourage power sharing among the factions we have seen on the ground. We saw General Ayeke living with his communities very well. It will be so sad to see any group sending soldiers to the areas of General Ayeke. That will be the worst thing to see. I would not even want to see ADF going to the area of General Ayeke. I will be the first person to call it out. General Ayeke and his communities are doing great. I do not want to see not even ADF going to that area. Period. In the area of Batibo, where King Commando is found, it will be very, very sad politics to see anyone send soldiers to that area. Not even ADF shall we watch to see in that area of Batibo where King Commando is located, except they are collaborating. Period. We have seen Simon Carter doing great in his own block. It is going to be very bad for us to see anyone sending soldiers to the area of the Southern Qatar. Is going to be worse. No one should do that. Period. Now, in the area of General Arke, he's doing great. No one should send any soldiers to the area of General Arke except any place that Cameroon has taken over. No one should send soldiers there, period. In the areas of ADF, no one should send any soldier to the areas of ADF. No one, period. And if we do this, it is power sharing and there will be peace, and our civilian population now will be the highest in protection. The civilian population now will live in peace and harmony. Because in every area, in most of the areas in Amberland, they already have the Amber self-defense that are already there with their civilian population. So it is already an occupation. When you see the ADF somewhere and you send your own forces to go there, those forces are coming as occupation. They are not coming as civilians oriented and agreed self-defense guys. When you see General Arke somewhere and you send forces there, those forces are going there as occupation. They are not going there as the soldiers of the people. Period. If you see King Commando doing well and you send soldiers there, they are going exactly like Cameroon forces are going to occupy land. That land already have their own trusted son. Period. You see General Ayeke in his own area in Wabani or in Alu, and you send soldiers to go there. Mano, you are causing problems. You are causing in-house fighting. That is politics and manipulation. Because the people there and civilians have proven that they love their General Ayeke. Period. When you see the ADF, General Efang, in the areas where he controls, and you see millions of civilians come out beside him, and you send your soldiers to go there, you are also a manipulator, a failed politician, and you are causing the in-house fight that's going to cause fight that civilians will be caught in the middle and they will kill civilians. That should not happen. When you see areas of General Hassan in Bui, good community schools across Amazonia, in Minmi, in Momo, you have it area where the ADF are, you have seen community school. When you want to go there, the people of Amazonia know that you hate the community school. You want Cameroon to take over. Period. That should not happen. For Amazonian civilians and the people and the population today, what are we taking from Liberation TV? If you see any faction or group sending their soldiers to anywhere they don't locate, call it out. Let us deal with it. And it doesn't matter whether it is my ADFO, whether it is the General Ayeke, whether it is a King Commando, whether it is 7 Kata or General Arke, it does not matter. For peace to come, we must start from within the house. For peace to come, charity begins at home. We have the community school today. And that's a response to that community schools. Sometimes we don't want to bring it out because last year we had it already. We did not bring the children out last year because at that time it could have been a different story. If we brought the children out last year, Cameroon and all these failed activists could have said we are using children for political gains. And so last year those children were going to school still. You have seen some of them are already big in the school. But this year, because Cameroon and failed activists, baby journalists are campaigning for school resumption, we decided to show to Amazonian people we have more than 12,000 children in school. More than 12,000. This is only what I can tell you in the public though. This is what is agreed to be said in the public. Because maybe the number is more than that. But what you show is that we have 12,000 children already in schools, not only for this year. They have been there in school. Some of them have been there since 2019. So we are showing to you that because Cameroon and failed activists and Bamileke activists and the baby journalists are not trying to seek relevance with Cameroon government. As Cameroon colonial masters are campaigning for school resumption, some of those people are joining now with Cameroon government to make relevant that the people of the the southern Cameroon people don't like education. That is why I was mocking them before Independence Day. I say Independence Day is a testimonial for all the factions in this struggle. Did I say that to you? I said it was a testimonial to see who has been working with civilians on the grounds. For wherever you are, for everywhere you had ADF soldiers, didn't you not like the kind of harmony, the kind of the kind of gestures, tranquility, peace, and serenity that surrounded the localities? It took them months of radar to face up all 10 civilians population. They are on radar for months so that the day can come and they will be saved. A lot of resources was used to mobilize for them to be in radar, and that's why I give respect to King Commando. I give respect to Ayeke. I give respect to Seven Kata. I give respect to General Ayeke, Arke, and so many factions that you don't even know in this struggle. So many factions, you saw them in their localities. I give respect to No Pity. And when I give respect to No Pity, one thing is that he goes and harvests his own material. He don't even depend on diaspora. He goes and harvests his own material from the enemy, come and is using it as the only face, the first marine of Amazonia. He did not only harvest it, but he also create a wing, which is the face in Amazonia called the Marines. Give credit to them, so that when you have problem, they can back you up. We should stop condemning forces because they don't stand on our factions. Appreciate other blocks to create alliances for our own on the grounds. When we don't speak well for Ayeke, you are causing harm to the ADF if you are an ADF person. If you love ADF so well and you speak bad against Ayeke, General Arke, you are causing harm to ADF. If you love ADF so well and you speak bad about Commando, you are causing harm to General Sumanguru, who is there working hand in hand with him, down to Kapodadin. If you love General Efan so well and you speak bad about General Ayeke, you are causing harm. If you love ADF so well and you speak bad about Seven Kata, you are causing harm. And the people of Seven Kata, if you love Seven Kata and you speak bad about ADF, you are causing harm. The people of General Arke, if you love Arke so much and you talk bad about ADF, Ayeke or Commando, you are causing harm to Arke. The people of Ayeke, if you love Ayeke so much and you talk bad about ADF or AMF, sorry, I have not mentioned AMF. AMF is also great people, but AMF does not own soldiers. AMF is just a collaboration of groups that we already talked about. AMF does not own soldiers. They are a collaboration of groups that don't have somebody abroad or diaspora. It's just a collaboration. So again, correction is that AMF does not own forces. Also, I want to thank the Restoration Forces. Restoration Forces are also forces under. It's an umbrella, and there are some forces who come under the thing called Restoration Forces. So Restoration Forces is not a name of a particular group. Those are forces that belong to, you know that there are so many blocks in Amazonia that don't even belong to these groups that we are talking about. Only their civilians take care of them. And so the bottom line is that when you talk bad about other forces and you also have your own groups, you are killing those groups and you are causing harm. Look, I have gone to so many negotiations on the ground. And anytime I want to negotiate to free my ADF or any force or whatever, they always mention that an official said this. An official said that. This person said this. This person said that. And sometimes they bring me audios, which I listen to audios and even plead guilty sometimes in order to get peace going. I take blames in order to get peace going for something which I didn't do. As a peace broker, as a humanitarian, that is the nature of our job and duty, to save human lives. But it is so tiring that officials throw a lot of insult to other groups. We already know who is who in this struggle and who has who on the grounds. I think that the best politics is when you talk only about your own juju, when you create your juju. If you know shout them very well, you take time and only condemning other people, you will learn in what I'm about to describe today. Amazonian people, if we are ending today, have we learned something? Have we learned that as we are leaving from here today, talk good about other people. When you don't want something, don't even talk about it. Don't see it. Talk good about your own. What about this? What about us just concentrating in our own and talking good about it, even if we cannot appreciate others? The fact is this: my ADF is the best in my heart. But those people who belong to General Arke know that Arke is the best because it is not my ADF that is giving security to those people in Boyo. That's a fact. That's a fact. Arke can only be in Boyo. It doesn't matter. ADF is in more than in many states in Amazonia than any other thing that exists. That's a fact. We have seen ADF everywhere. And that's one reason why ADF do not retaliate, because if ADF retaliate in this place, they are going to attack the innocent ones in that area. ADF is like MTN. Everywhere you go. But ADF cannot dismiss the fact that General Arke exists in Boyo. And the civilians of Boyo have protection from Arke. Which means that we have to talk only good about Arke because he's doing good. He's not numbering. Okay, you have King Commando and Batibo in his own area. and the people are with him. So we cannot say that he's not doing great. No, that is bad politics and is manipulation, and it's going to hinder and stop collaboration between Sumanguru and King Commando. So we cannot talk bad about all these legitimate factions. Look, in Christianity you have the Baptist, the Catholic Church, the Presbyterian, and then you also have the Muslim. None of these churches, if they want to prevail with a good image, you don't talk bad about other church. The Catholic Church becomes the biggest church that exists today in mankind. Why? The Catholic Church does not condemn the Presbyterian Church. The Catholic Church does not condemn the Baptist Church. And the Catholic Church does not condemn the Muslim. So you can understand the reason why the Catholic Church accept mixed marriages. They accept you can be a Muslim and come to marry in the Catholic Church with a Christian. You can be a Presbyterian, you can be a Baptist, and you marry in the Catholic Church because they are very inclusive in nature. Inclusivity, tolerance. And so you have ADF today. ADF has survived based on the fact that they hardly attack other people. Look, I say hardly. Next year I want to say they don't. ADF hardly attack the ADF supporters. I say supporters. The ADF supporters hardly attack other people, but next year I want to say the ADF supporters does not attack other factions. We can do this better. Next year we will say we don't attack other factions. That's why ADF of next year will be like the Catholic Church. Hallelujah. It's a strategy. If you want your thing to be great, your juju, you must shout it and hide your face until other people will copy and start to hide. In the Banzo culture, we have some juju that it's not even anything. When you go there, it's just a juju like this. It's nothing. The kind of medicine where they come talk, say, you don't even get. But the way where they go shout out, you go run certain code your food before you hide. They go say, woman there, a woman there. They go say, woman there, a woman there. Hide your head. Mommy go in fact, carry blanket. Hide head for picking them, even for inside house. But when you go for that, you say, they see the kind of thing where they can't shout and so. That means say for this struggle, our various faction now with juju, the way we go to shout out, go determine whether people will like them or they don't like them. Mommy and papa, they will not look anywhere where they manipulate. The fact say you come from the big compound of this, and in that big compound they have Ekikum, and in the other big compound they have Engang. Does not mean that Engang is better than Ekikum, because the people for the compound where they get the Kikum is the highest juju where they don't ever see for this life. And if you go for the big compound where they get Ngang is the best juju where they don't ever see for this life. It doesn't mean that Ngang is better than Kikum. It doesn't mean that Kikum is better than Ngang. But it's that when person get your own pikin, a life for call and Biko, Biko, darling, sweetie, huh? No be say the other person your own pikin, no be darling to him. We must understand that these guys are like children. We should act like parents. That even though you love your own pikin, no mean say you go kill another one you own. No mean say me you go hate another one you own. Let us treat them as families. And so to all the vanguards, to all the Mandelas, today you have been commissioned to be the peace brokers in Ambalan. You have been commissioned to bring the highest unity that exists in Ambalan. You have been commissioned to bring the highest peace that no one has ever done. You have committed not to be surrogates, but to be the patriot volunteer. You have been committed not to be the surrogates, but to be the fathers and mothers of the nation. That is always and has been your task. That is what we have been doing. The responsibility to secure, the responsibility to protect, and the responsibility to defend. That has been your motto since your creation. Fellow Mandels and fellow Mandelas, we are not talking water in our mouth. We have to bring the type of cleanliness, the type of cleansing, the type of goodness, the type of fruits, gentleness, self-control, understanding, wisdom, and faith that we want to see in our country. We have to start by doing it. Thou shalt not, remember our attitude, thou shalt not do smear campaigns. Thou shalt not accept to be agents of manipulation. People with political manipulation, they will do it themselves. Thou shalt not accept to cause confusion by insulting other groups that we have seen on the ground during this Independence Day. We shall never accept to hate General Ayeke because some people want us to do that. We shall never accept to hate General Arke, even if some people want us to do that. We shall continue the way Dr. Cho Ayaba has been teaching us to do, to respect sister forces. In his own word, we shall continue exactly as our leader, Dr. Cho Ayaba, has always commissioned us to do. We cannot accept to listen to what some people close to the leader can tell us to do this, to do that. If it is not what the leader says, we will not do that. Mandelas, I hope you are getting that. Let me know. Press the love button. Let me know you are getting this. We shall not do anything that is against the protection, security, and defense of the leader. We shall not do anything against the protection, security, and defense of the aspiration of the people. Therefore, in serving the people, we shall do only what protect every single amber, whether it's in Furawa, whether it's in Anyajwa, in Boyo Akwaya, Donga Manto, whether it is in the tarmac of the great state of Bui, whether it is in Boyo, in Meme, in the Libya Lem, whether in Bokitunja, whether it is in Kupemane Guba, whether it is in Meme or it is in Momo, we shall do only the things that we serve our people. Right up to Ndian in Bakassi, we shall only do things that will serve even a single individual. That means that the civilian population under the watch eye of General Ayeke need to be protected, and that will be by us not causing any fight to General Ayeke. We will only thank him when we do good. And if we can advise him, we do so professionally. We will not talk anything bad about anything in Boyo, because we will only advise. General RK, for God's sake, was trained by General Ivo. And if you love General Ivo, that is why no matter whatever, anyone who surrounds General RK, you know how we fought when the Boyo cartel wanted to kill General RK. We did that because General Ivo is the father. He trained him. And so we have the responsibility to continue to protect the blueprint of General Ivo. But thou shalt not talk bad against Seven Kata. For one time in the contender force, Seven Kata was one of the people who accepted to come to the contender force. General Ayeke with his gorillas. General RK. We also had other forces that came under. The Tigers, I don't know where the Tigers disappeared to. Maybe they are now the restoration forces. And so we saw those things. We cannot fight those people when they have accepted even to come to us at a time when Cameroon and the Samsons were fighting against us. Those are people who even knew that we are Ambas. Those are people who believe that we are Ambazonians. And therefore, a single Mandela or a single Vanguard should never ever listen to anyone who tells you to say something negative against those people who accepted to come under a contender and initiative by our great leader, Dr. Cho Ayaba. This here, we want to avoid diaspora politics. We want to avoid diaspora manipulation that have killed our own. That have done, and we have got our own soldiers killed, and diaspora manipulations have been mentioned. As a peace broker, I have heard those things and heard it, and so many things. We want to end that. We want peace to return to our communities. We want our own valiants and the vanguards in the communities to be doing a great job. We do not want to hear vanguards complaining that, oh, those people who go to TV are saying things that are causing them to fight against each other. We want to end that, my mothers and fathers. That is the reason for today, and that's a take home to everyone. If we can respect this, and it is so easy to respect this, what about you only say about your group? Talk only about your faction. If you are ADF, talk only about ADF, so that you will not make a mistake to talk about other people. Because if you love ADF, you will not talk negative about it. So what about we only concentrate in talking about Dr. Cho Ayaba, ADF? We have done that, and raise more community school. Not only you liking the videos, but say, hey, CEO Amba Dangute, how are those schools doing? I will have $200 to support the schools. Teachers are crying for support. I want to adopt a teacher to give a salary of 10,000. I say 10,000 every month. I don't say 50,000. How many of you will take that? But nobody wants to give even 5,000 every month to a teacher. But you love the videos. You don't love the videos. You want the children to go back to school. To those activists, the baby ones, those activists that have desecrated activism. Now you have community school. If I ask you to do fundraising in your various platforms, how many of you are willing to do that? How many of you who want to champion school resumption, we have listened to you, yes. We have provided you with community school now. We are in the next phase of getting those community schools recognized by the United Nations, by UNESCO. We are in the process of getting UNESCO to provide some form of aid to those community schools. But how many of these activists that wanted to cry relevant to seek their papers and their green cards abroad, how many of them are going to do fundraising to help these community schools? If they really care about our children going back to school, you can now see that our children, we have to differentiate from the Republic. They have amber uniforms, amber colors. That is the concept. They will dress in amber flag. Yes, they will dress in amber flag like that. Because with the amber flag, it differentiates them directly and directly, not thinking like indirect from the Republic. So how many of them are going to respond? How many of them are going to even say, Amazonian people, put money in tough? How many of them have said that people should put money in tough? They really want the schools to go, but they want to choose who should organize the school. And to some of them, if it should be under Dr. Cho Ayaba or under Seseku Ayuktabi, it should be nothing. If not, the only leader in this struggle who went behind all the leaders, first conclave, second conclave, third conclave, and fourth conclave, and even went to the controversial Washington, D.C. Unitary Conference. Who is that apart from Dr. Cho Ayaba? Who in this struggle with his own disciples will raise little monies and go and organize a community school for more than 2 years, and in the independent days allow the community school to sing the name of Ayub Seseku Tabi, to create awareness that there is a leader also in the prison, despite the fact that the school was created by Dr. Cho Ayaba under his watch. Who on I am from so I can decide whatever they will sing in those schools. Trust me, I'm telling you here. General Assad can decide what will be done in those schools. Do you understand? We can decide what will be sung, the type of song that we sing in that school. We have the mantle, the yam and the knife in our hand. Who in this struggle, before you saw the song being sung, the AGOC Education Board has approved that song. Dr. Cho Ayaba has listened to it and approved. How many leaders in this struggle can do all this hard work, passing through a lot like Dr. Cho Ayaba, and still allow the children to sing the name of another leader? Does that tell to you that Dr. Cho Ayaba synergized with the ITK, John Baakoro Consortium? Does that not speak the collaboration that you have heard? You heard the collaboration on the grounds. Children under the watch eye of Dr. Cho Ayaba are singing the name of Seseku. Who can do this in this revolution? But some people are so egoistic, ethnocentric, very bad people that cannot give credit, that cannot even appreciate. They are all fake news, and their time is over. They are fake news, and the more they fight genuine people in this struggle, the more good people like us are attracted to those people they are fighting. Besides, a Messiah is always being fought by his own people. But since we are a never again generation, we will not fight Moses. The Israelites did not fight Moses when he returned. They did not say, oh, you are the one who was telling us not to fight each other. We will fight you. They accepted their leader. Even Moses, who ran away previously from his own people, thinking that they will see fight him, God said, no, go. They will not fight you. Dr. Cho Ayaba for not giving up is a blessing to this struggle. I have stood as a one-man commando for 1.5 years. But the continuous fight against Dr. Cho Ayaba, in all the forums that we were standing, in all the groups that we were there, the continuous fight against Dr. Cho Ayaba gave a pause to some of us. It takes 1 or 2 people. Me and Tapang I will cut root from those forums. As we cut root from those forums, we became one-man commandos. And we were watching everything that we see now in media. We know that is being cooked in those forums. We know the mentality of those forums. And we know the writings of everyone in this struggle. Baby journalists, when we read from him, we know. Mark Barretta write, we know. If Tapang Ivo write, we know. Capo Dane write, we know. Me here, if I write, you know. We know the writings of everyone in this struggle. And so we know the manipulation. When we hear audios and listen to the audios, even though it's a different person doing the audio, we know the mentality of that audio. We know the faction where the audio is coming from. It is something that we have learned. It is within us. We cannot write it in paper. It is already in our mind. It's like a car. You get a Hummer Jeep. Somebody can close his eyes and say, that is the sound of a Hummer Jeep without seeing it. You can pass with a Ducati bike. Somebody will say, no, it's not a Yamaha. It's a Ducati. You can come with a car like, let's say, a BMW. Somebody close his eye and say, oh, it is this series. It's this type of series. You come with a car like Pagani or like Ferrari or like Bentley or like whatever car, maybe Mercedes. Somebody close his eyes and say, that sound is a sound of Mercedes this, Pagani this, Ferrari this, Bentley this. It is the same thing in this struggle. We have been mastered of so many conspiracies and seen how those conspiracies are being done. We have mastered those manipulation, propagandas, and we know where it's coming from exactly, because we have been into this struggle day in, day night, 24/7, non-stop for the past years. And so we have called everyone, please, you can be on board if you want. The vanguards are open. To the new people who joined the vanguard before Independence Day because they wanted to support, God bless you all. You can now see how you saw the big number with the soldiers being dressed. You saw the t-shirts. You saw the type of t-shirt they wore in Bui. ADF soldiers, you saw how they were dressed. Vanguards, I want to thank you because you contributed to a greater extent. Even though all the materials that were put on was not contributed all by, but you did great. You contributed a lot. 500 in numbers. Let Amazonian people know that you did. 500 in numbers. So 500 is not a small number. We know that we saw soldiers, more than 2,000 soldiers across the land. But at least 500 of them, if there were 2,000 of them, at least you dress maybe some 300 soldiers and some 200 civilians. That is a hand clap for you, vanguards. Please clap your hands for that. Dressing civilians and their heroes is not a bad thing that you did. You did not take your money and say, go and kill this one, go and do this. No. So, vanguard, please clap for you. You saw what they call accountability on the ground. We continue in that way. When we see the clear accountability like this, we thank the OGC, we thank the AGOFC, we thank the ATA procurement department and the logistic department for the wonderful job that they did in such occasion. At this time, as the spokesman for the vanguards, I can say that we are satisfied 100%. In fact, it's an understatement to say 100. We are 2,000% satisfied about the way AGOFC handles the Independence Day commemoration. Being a deputy chairman for the National Day, I can say that my desk and my office, and I think too the chair lady, is 100% satisfied about what the commission did in terms of adversary to the AGOFC mission. Without compromising, the AGOFC mission was charged to organize and lead the commemoration activities of the Independence Day. And I can say here again without any doubt, with a lot of confidentiality, we are so proud and satisfied with the acts of the AGOFC mission. In fact, we want to thank the AGOFC mission for the wonderful work and wonderful distribution of the resources. First in history, we have seen such a wonderful display of no single kobo was embezzled. No single franc was lost. The PIN project, the tough project, everything delivered phenomenal and more than what was put in. We don't know how they multiplied those things. We are so proud of that and we are so satisfied. We speak out without anything holding us. If we were not satisfied, we will say, look, this was rubbish, this was crap. You know how we speak. This is a Merciful Truth talk show, by the way. And so, as we have condemned other things, we want to appreciate and thank the tough team for a great job well done. You have seen what has happened on the grounds. Sometimes you don't see because they don't have. For wherever you saw the ADF, you saw what they call Mami water sticks. Amazonians first in history have seen what they have never seen. But there's something I want to tell you shocking. Look, for the material that you saw the soldiers marching with was not the best material. Let me tell you. For everywhere you saw the communities, there were hundreds of soldiers in the neighboring bushes and forests guarding the civilians, making sure that if the enemy show up, water, they go water them. And so there is no way we could pull the best material for you to see. What you saw was actually not the best of what the AD was. If you saw 50 material in one place, that means that there is 100 in the bushes and forests. This is what you should know here. That's why the enemy tried to attack Caporal and the children repelled the enemy in the Independence Day. That's why the enemy tried to attack a big number and they meet Waterloo just 2 kilometers away. That's why the enemy wanted to attack General Hassan and the children. I have already extended the area from 1 kilometer to thank God that my mind has been working like this. I said, well, the War Council give 1 kilometer. I want to give all the commanders and all their camps and barracks in Bui 2 kilometers. I extended it like that. I extended it. I'm tired of losing them. I had to do that to protect the civilians and to protect them. I had to do that. It's about protection of human life. You don't want to lose humans, so you have to do anything that to serve as a humanitarian, guided by the principles of VCN Inc. You have to protect and secure civilians. Civilians are innocent people. And so it was 2 kilometers of radar. And in that 2 kilometers of radar and the watch of the vanguards, they have to make sure that anything that fashion must be fashioned to Tasata. The Republic tried several times, and everything was handled very swift and fast. For me, it was no news. I didn't need to break that as a news. That's not a news to ADF. Anytime when they repel look, it's a routine activities. It's what they do every day. It's no more news. If when ADF send 1,000 a kilometer to Tasata, we don't even talk about. We don't report anymore. It's become norms. It is the job for which the ADF is doing. It is not surprising that ADF will send a kilometer to Tasata. That is no more news to us. News is when ADF don't send anything to Tasata. News is when Tasata is hungry. But since the ADF came, we have never witnessed Tasata hungry again. Tasata has been feeding every day. Now I saw yesterday he roasted 5 meats that ADF sent to them. But you did not hear that in media. But there are some people that when they send one thing, maybe it's a dying La Republic that leprosy has attacked, or one La Republic that ADF has missed to send to Tasatan, but the lake is already over. And some people come, it's like when we used to hunt birds, and you see a bird that is sick, you take a stone and you hit the nose, so blood can come out a little bit, and then you take and show your friends that you can know how to time and shoot a bird with a catapult rubber. We used to do that when we were little kids, to show relevant that we can also shoot and kill. In fact, you will see a bird that is already dead, and you try to sprinkle maybe a blackberry or some kind of berries on it to show that you kill it, and then you bring it and show your friend that you can also kill a bird. Sometimes when ATF has missed to send to Tasatan, but the leg or the head is already wounded, and some people will see just to finish, then they will just say they did, and they will not even say one. They will say they have killed 5,000. We saw one year when Free Masha was killing a cow and slaughtering a cow and sharing to our people on a Christmas day, which was a good thing, but at the same time reported that he has killed 6,000 La Republic military. And people were happy when Chris Ano said this. This is so bad that propaganda can be done like this, and you are slaughtering a cow and giving to civilians, which is a great thing, of course, on a Christmas day, but at the same time you have killed 5,000 La Republic. How? Which magic is this? So those type of lies we don't want to hear. For ADF, we only make news when we don't send to Tasata. You understand? News only come when we have not sent anything to Tasata. But if we continue to send to Tasata, is the normal activities of the ADF. What do you think ADF is for? You think that they are drunkards? You think that they are just there to sit and drink? The ADF job is to send the Ekelebe to Tasatan and protect the civilian population and make sure that women and children are protected. And so it's not a news. You don't see us breaking news that like yesterday. You all know what happened. You saw it. You saw the pictures, right? The Republic like that, sleep trade. You saw the. You know what happened. Did you see me break the news that La Republic has been sent to Satan? What is the job of other people? When General Ivo said that as a leader, when you cook, you can cook food and the community will just come and eat. But when community cook, you can't eat. The ADF has done the job. Let the people consume it. It is for the people. ADF cannot cook again and be consuming. Come on, that means that they are on their own. So we are happy to see people sharing those videos of ADF. By the way, we have seen some activists that have never agreed with ADF sharing the videos. Brother, don't be ashamed. Thank you so much. Those videos are meant for Ambas. The only worst thing that we saw was when activists, baby journalists, shared the ADF videos and called it Northwest and Southwest of Cameroon. Look, that guy, I don't know his brain. Bishop Kia, we have to call the Bishop of Mamfe to come and, the Baminda, he's not the Bishop of Baminda, to come and pray for him. We don't know. Because how can you see an act done by Amba people, for Amba people, by ADF? First of all, you don't even give credibility to ADF. Second, you come and say that Northwest and Southwest of Cameroon. The video that is done, people have sacrificed their lives to have that moment that has come. You see, that's why he doesn't have a common cell in the brain. The brain is full of empty. That's why instead of suing the gang that stole money to the court, he went and was suing but to the police and the FBI. Don't have sense. That's why he couldn't even know by instinct. He don't even have the instinct to know that these guys are thieves. When we tell him, you don't understand. He instead fight but us. And then after 2 years, he is asking for justice to my trip to Boya. My people, if some of you said don't get brained, how can somebody stand and protect? Let's say if I protect Dr. Cho Ayaba today, and Dr. Ayaba is doing something bad, and you advise me to advise Dr. Cho Ayaba, and I don't, and I instead fight you back and fight you back, and after 2 years I start to move that justice for my trip to Boya to Dr. Cho. How will you look at me? Like an idiot, of course. But I'm so surprised at Ambazoran people. People have directly struggle upon directly struggle. You give them chances. The same time you give them chances, they are calling for school resumption for La Republic to come and take over again. But you keep on giving chances to them. They have apologized more than 5 times to show that they are weak. The first time you apologize to your people is a strength. But if you continue to apologize 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, my people, is no strength. That one now is complete show of weakness and manipulation, deceit and conspiracies. The worst is that we have suffered for many years and people have come and directly struggled for more than 2 years, gave money to pastors. Without those people, pastors would have not directly struggled. Pastors succeeded because one or some people who are calling themselves journalists stood and blocked activism, blocked and did everything possible to obstruct power. And that's how we ended up with a dictator in this struggle. And the same people now are crying justice for my trip to Boya. All this. The first time they told was that in 2 weeks they are going to finish Ashawarian. It's more than 2 weeks. It's getting to 2 years now. And the king of Ashawari they created is still there. It is not taking the action of the senior comrade Christmas Ebene, that is taking them to court. Doing the right thing that's supposed to be done. Where on earth have you seen somebody filing a court case to the police or the FBI? Not even in the kangaroo government do they do this. But people are still clapping hands for the same person. Very soon, they will see the same person now taking 1 or 2 postcards and going on the street in America that is protesting. The highest thing that could have protested was my trip to Boya against Popia on the grounds. But you know the facts. But now the same person will carry now the placards to go out that is, and you will clap hands that is doing the right thing. After 2 billions have been taken away from the people, 2 millions taken away from the people, and then you are moving around with it. Where is the national army? And you will not ask these questions. The national day has come without the army that he said was in Bamenda more than any other faction. You think we don't have those facts? Somebody boasted 2 months before Independence Day that he has the biggest force in Bamenda more than any other force that exists. Where is that force's Independence Day? We even saw when Sakorians pretended to send their pictures. Instead of buying them automobile sticks and granules to give on the grounds, they went and produced a flyer, a giant picture, and they were moving with it. And the soldiers, since they are incorruptible, they were singing, if you do not, if you, Dr. Samuel, if you give us material, we shall free this country. They were even singing and calling Sakoria and asking them to give them material so they can free the land. You saw that. After they tried to manipulate them, like Kawa Yannick was manipulated for national dialogue. And when he went to national dialogue, the truth could not hide. He was saying some of them were, and that they were deprived, and then they have no jobs, and that's why they went to fight against the government. He went and instead was protesting against the government in the national dialogue. You saw that, hallelujah. When God says that he ordained something, nobody can put it down. Do you understand? When God ordains something, no one can sabotage and destroy it. The struggle is ordained by God. The struggle is ordained by God. And so we should continue on with the truth. Tell it. How many of you people like the community school? Press the love button. Let me see you. How many of you people like the community school? Press the love button and share. If you want to see more, how many of you people are ready to support those schools? If you want to see more, Freeze the screen. The people of so Bui, you know, you went under Bui County worldwide. How many community schools in Bui are owned by the Bui County worldwide? The same Bui County worldwide that wanted to kill me. But you are happy what you saw in the great state of Bui. But when they want to kill me, how many of you people have solidarity for me not being killed? How many of you? When I call for dialogue and negotiation and say my presence after crying to you that they want to kill me because I want peace to come to Bui, how many of you people came for those peace process? But you can see now you are civilians. Your mothers and fathers on the ground now are safe. You were planning to take your mothers and fathers away. Millions. Something we could have cost you millions of money to take your parents away because you do not guarantee the security and protection of your parents now for the same guys that you were the one sponsoring. But peace is returning now. You see the different type of energy now, even to the warriors. The way they think now is a little bit different from how they thought about 6 months ago. How much are you going to support like you supported the Bui County worldwide? Are you going to support the community school? Let us be very sincere to ourselves. Let us serve our people without bias, and we shall arrive. I have stood for more than 2 hours talking like this. I'm not tired. Why am I not tired? Because, look, there is nothing on earth better than putting a blueprint. There's nothing on earth better than leaving a legacy on earth. Because I don't know what type of life exists after we die from here. But as long as we are on earth here, it's good that we leave a memory. We leave a legacy. It's good that we leave a blueprint. So that one day, as we learned who abolished slave trade, we say Abraham Lincoln. Who fought for the black Americans, we say Martin Luther King. Who fought for the freedom in India and end the pacts and all those segregations, we say Muhammad Gandhi. We say who fought for the independence of the first country in Africa, we say Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Which country? Ghana. We say who fought for the liberation of Kenya people, we say Jomo Kenyatta, Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara, Julius Nyerere. We know all these people and we know how they play parts. When they talk about Amazonia, will your name be mentioned? Will they mention your name to the liberation of the people of Amazonia? When we talk about the Israelite people, the people of God, the Hebrews, we talk about Moses, we talk about Aaron, we talk about Joshua. Today, as we talk about Ayok Sesekutabi and Dr. Cho Ayaba, will they mention you? Will you even be a disciple? Will you be the apostle of truth? Or you will be noted in the red book as one of the manipulators and political satires? How will you be remembered? How will history remember you are existing on earth? In positive ways or negative ways, in truth or in lies, deceit or in conspiracies and manipulations. How will you be remembered? That is what we want to do today, so that we can be remembered positively, in a good way, in the way that serve humanity. Orphans, we know that you were their father. Children without parents, we know that you were their parents. That God sent you to their lives. That you adopted them. That you took care of them. You gave them a nation. How will you be remembered? We are going to come back. And the next time, within this week, we shall talk about Exodus chapter 4. Exodus chapter 4 is so important. We should all read it. As we are going home today, we recognize that there are areas under the command of other people. And those areas need respect. Even though those people have only one area, one subdivision or two subdivisions, or maybe one state, or one division that they control, we still need to give them respect. They are sister forces. We can collaborate with those people. We can collaborate with them by either saying just positive things about them. We can also collaborate with them by not even saying anything about them. Because when you don't say anything about somebody, it means you will not say anything negative about it. Because sometimes you might be saying something, but you say about negative things. It's the worst thing you can do. It's better to collaborate by not even saying it, not say anything. You are collaborating. You can collaborate silently. Let's say you see something and you hate, and the people of that community like it. Let's say I'm ATF. I don't want General Ayeke. If I say something negatively, I'm saying something, but I'm destroying. But if I see that Ayeke is doing something I don't like, I can collaborate by just remaining silent if his community people like it. But if the community of Ayeke don't like what Ayeke is doing, then I can be relevant by condemning his excesses. But once the people like it, oh boy, and you know that it is for Amber, and the people are putting the flag, and not as if it's La Republique. Come on, your silence means collaboration. As we leave from here today, the idea that there's one person that controls the entire Amazonia is not factual as of today. It's not factual. The ADF, which we are proud of, control the greater part. The soldiers are so many. What you saw is just a quarter of them. If you saw 15,000 of them, it's just a quarter. Quarter means divide by 4. You saw only one. It's like a burger. You divide by 4. What you saw was only one portion, a quarter, 25%. You have not seen anything. What was surrounding those areas in the bushes was in every area. 75% of the forces and 75% of the material was in the bushes around civilian, surrounding civilian. The enemy, they don't need to see the mantle, because that mantle is not televised. You have not seen the armories. You don't know the armory masters, but you see certain things, because those things that are not televised. As you leave from here today, let what comes out from your mouth be soothing. Let what comes out from your mouth be healing. Let what comes out from your mouth be uniting. Let what comes out from your mouth be collaborating. That is the goal of today's talk show. That is the merciful truth today. Give respect to RK. Give respect to King Commando. Give respect to Ayeke. Give respect to Ngokitunja and Nopiti. Give respect to other people that we know in their blocks. Give them respect. And your respect will mean security for your own forces, for ADF, for AGOVC, for Dr. Cho Ayaba. We have to end the fights. We have to end the in-house fights. We have to stop all those manipulations and focus on one enemy. The enemy has made us to not fight about the enemy, but fight from within to seek relevance. We are more meaningful when our relevance comes from La Republique. When we fight and seek relevance and take it from La Republique. We are useless when we fight to take relevance but from our sister forces. When we fight to drive away other forces to take power, we are irrelevant. What has happened in the great state of Bui today? In Kikaikelaki, the enemy has established a military camp there. Even though it could have happened to any forces that was there, let's say they came and saw the ADF and they succeeded to take ADF away, which they have not. But it could be that ADF was one day that might have happened. We don't know. But when you come and drive ADF from somewhere and you establish your camp there, and then all of a sudden La Republique come and drive you from there and establish his own camp there, there are three things people can be thinking. One, maybe you are collaborating with the enemy. Why will you drive away another Amazonia group from somewhere and put your camp there, and it's not up to a year, Cameroon government come and drive you and put the camp? Maybe it was a strategy that you are working with Cameroon government. People will think like this and there's nothing you can do. Secondly, people will think that yes, you drive your own brothers understand that they cannot fight you because you are their own brother. They allow the area to you to go to another area, but you are weak. And since you are weak, the enemy who could not drive your other brothers from that place came, and was very easy for them to drive you and put the camp. And you don't have the mantle to fight back. That's why the enemy decided to put the camp there. Or the third reason, some people that are Marxists or racist, they can say, well, the enemy can always come sometime and defeat any group in any struggle from anywhere. Maybe that could happen. But only few people can think like that. Majority people will only think that you are collaborating with the enemy because you came there and drive the forces that were existing there for 2 years, and the enemy has never succeeded to crack them down. You took it only for 6 months. The enemy did not only drive you away, but the enemy put a military base in that place. The majority of civilians will now be saying that you are collaborating with the enemy. And maybe you are not. And then you are going to be angry. But the reason is because you were fighting for power. You fought and drove your own brothers from that area. But if you went to a new area occupied by yourself, and that happened, civilians will instead be sympathizing with you. Because they know that you are the one who came to that place, you established by yourself. And so they will see that you are real. That's why I said any force that is fighting against another one Something will happen that will expose you and make you seem to be an enemy. And sometimes you are not the enemy. Sometimes they will say you are fighting and you are collaborating with the enemy. Because if you drive some group from some area and then up to 6 months we see the Republic occupying the place. Let me tell you, brother, whether you are fighting with the enemy, whether you are collaborating with the enemy or not, systematically, authoritatively, empirically, you are working with the enemy because you have cracked down the camp that was there before and now you have abandoned it to the enemy. You are a systematic collaborator to the enemy. The in-house fight has to stop because of this. Some of us have documented those things against other people. The in-house fight has to stop because once you fight your brothers and they leave the place to you and the enemy takes it from you later, the civilians now will run from you and go back to the other people you drew from that land. Because the civilians now know that the people that were there before, that prevented the enemy from coming there to establish a base to kill them and rape them, those were the rightful children. Bui is a case study to all Amazonian people. There's nothing we do to civilians. We don't even talk to civilians and convince them. We just do what we do and do it genuinely. And civilians, when they go there, oh, this is this, oh, we like it. And then finally, the enemy come and crack down and start molesting civilians. Civilians will now say, oh, in the days of this did not happen. Please, can you put it back? Like the people of Jakiri are calling me, bring back ADF, bring back ADF. Because why? They manipulate the people of Jakiri to think that ADF was bad. From the time we withdrew ADF to the barracks and then left Jakiri to the people who came and corrupted them, Jakiri now saw that, oh my God, that is not what I thought. And so they are now like civilians are being kidnapped and killed in Vekovi and buried. Some of the civilians, the families think that they will come back. They have been killed and buried in Vekovi. If you are from Jakiri or from Gar, from Sop or from Kinsinyam, Wainama, Jakiri, and your family member was kidnapped and taken to Vekovi, pray so hard. Because many of them were killed and buried and you don't know. They are not anywhere. If your family members were still locked up in Vekovi, last time that La Republic came and attacked that camp in Vekovi, they could have been released. If your family member was kidnapped from anywhere around Jakiri, Wainama, wherever, to Vekovi, pray. Go and make a mass. They killed them and lied to you that they were in the prison. They killed them. They didn't have ransom. Some of them were killed just because the family is poor and broke, because the Republic has never given the family anyone to have a job in that family. And so they could not afford for 1.5 million, 1 million. The lowest they asked was around 500,000, 250, never something below 100,000. And when the family failed to give, they will just kill you. You are useless. And your crime is that La Republic has never given you a job. Because if La Republic gave you a job, you should have had money. And if you had money, you should have been a CPDM person. No CPDM person was arrested and taken to that place, by the way. All SDF councillors were arrested. No CPDM councillor was arrested. Does that tell the reason why there is CPDM now in Kumbu? Does that tell the reason why SDF could not even do anything to have the council? Because during the time of that election, all SDF councillors were all kidnapped and only CPDM councillors were allowed. Now, if you can arrest a SDF councillors and allow CPDM councillors, what can people like me say? Make your own conclusion. If somebody arrests SDF councillors in this struggle and allows CPDM councillors, who is that person working for? I don't want to answer. I want people to answer. Whether they know or they don't know, directly or indirectly, empirically or systematically, who are they working for? Authoritatively. You come and see CPDM, which has caused us havoc, is the government of Cameroon. You see SDF, which is a political party, even though we don't want politics. But SDF, we know a fact. SDF has always been against Paul Biya. And you kidnap the SDF, which is the opposition to CPDM, and you allow the CPDM. Then who are you and who are you working for? These are questions that leaders need to always tell your soldiers on the ground. When they act and they don't know, as a leader that you understand the revolution, the war, the art of politics, you will now call the soldiers and tell them, listen, if you do this act like this, and you don't do it like this, then systematically you are working in favor of the regime. And so for that reason, you have to start from the CPDM people, from the CPDM colonial masters, Before you come to SDF, you should have dealt with everything about ADF, about CPDM from the land. You should have dealt with everything about CPDM from the land. That's what leaders need to do. So many times we have our own doing something that is, we just call and say, listen, you cannot do this one. If you do this one, this what it will happen. People will think like this. Even if people don't think, indirectly this is what it means. So you cannot allow CPDM militants, CPDM councillors, CPDM colonial masters, and you go and you kidnap your own brothers and sisters that are from your own very same village because they are SDF people. Because they are poor and broke and they don't have the army, no gendarme, no police. Brothers and sisters, we should learn. As we live from here, we should learn. Leadership should learn. Leadership is earned, it's not given. It's innate. Respect is also earned, it's not given. Everyone should know. Learn. Last but not the least, today, I call everyone. The Mandelas have a humanitarian mission coming up. I call everyone to continue to contact me for the humanitarian mission. Maybe part of the humanitarian mission will be to take care of some of the schools. Maybe part of the humanitarian mission will mean to buy the books for our children. Please, as Mandelas will be conveying in their General Assembly to deliberate on how to adopt the policy of humanitarian works, I call each and everyone, like to copy from Dr. David Makongo and some of our mothers in the US to support the Mandela's humanitarian mission. I would think that the schools will not be left out. We will have to reach out to those schools to provide them, writing books, provide them with materials, pens, pencils, erasers, and rulers. We have to provide them also materials for their curriculum. I think that they also have textbooks to learn from, even though some of the things, the things are online. But we also know that they need a lot to have data to use to extract information from online. To extract the information from online, they need also resources to have available data, internet. And so please, I call each and everyone to support. Maybe the Mandela Humanitarian Mission, we have to adopt teachers. Maybe we have to provide some benches. Maybe we have to provide some materials. Maybe some of those areas don't have the roof. And maybe we have to provide the roofs. There's a lot that has to be done. I tell you, there's a lot behind the scene. And so the Mandela's humanitarian gesture is something cool and nice that if we really love our people suffering in refugees and in grounds and so on and so forth, we should not take it lightly. You don't need to be a Mandela to support the Mandela mission. Dr. David Makongo has supported the first person. You don't need to be an AGOPSI or an ADF lover to support the Mandela mission. And so I want to thank you all the Mandelas of good conscience, all the vanguards on the grounds. When a cafe day up, you are doing amazing. You are doing great. We are also praying now, as the vanguards are on a mission right now currently. We pray for their safety and their protection. We pray for their smooth entry. They might have entered already though. So we thank God for their smooth entry. We thank God for their safety and protection. We thank God that whatever they have, may that be fashioned against the enemy. We pray that whatever God has given to them, may it be used very judiciously, tremendously, to bring a lot of happiness, the pursuit of happiness to the people. May that be used very judiciously, very mindfully, to secure, protect, and defend the people's aspiration and bring the people on their communities what they love to have, and it defines their dignity and their pursuit of happiness. We pray that as they are moving from mountains and hills, valleys, across rivers, especially in this time where there's heavy rains, may they be protected by the blood of the Creator. We pray that may they have retentive memories to shy away from every act that is insecure. May they be protected towards their heavy journey. It's not an easy one. To the vanguards, as they return, they continue to stand with their civilians, mobilize their civilians, and bring peace in their community. We also we thank and also pray that the hands that give it should be blessed more, so that as more comes in, the vanguard should also receive on the grounds. For the people that are suffering in refugee camps, those in Middle East, Kuwait, Qatar, Dubai, Osman, Muscat, Lebanon, those in Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Oman, United Arab Emirates. We pray, we know the situation that the pandemic has left the economy in the Middle East. In fact, the Dubai economy is worse as that of South Africa. We pray that may you seek and may you receive the kind of things that you need to get going. You don't have jobs at this time. We understand that is worldwide. Some people and some of us have not worked for months. We can only thank God for the survival. We continue to pray for our people that have lost their jobs because of COVID-19. It is part of our struggle. You are out because the country was not a good one, but we are trying to put the landmark that will come back. Even if you don't have jobs, we will eat. Your mothers do not starve us because we don't have jobs. It is part of our community that we don't eat without giving the neighbor. And so when we have a safer community back home, our people will return back. And so we feel for you, all of you in the refugee camps. Remember, you are there because you want to come back to a self-secured and defended nation. We are praying and working so hard that you will be back soon. Those of you in Nigeria, in Ghana, we have seen each other. Those that I have not seen, those that we have seen and talked, even when the people want to kill us. Well, just as I told you in the missions, that I am here with you and I know that the enemy is within us. You saw it. But guess what? We are not going to limit ourselves to those things, because we know if we didn't have this struggle, some of ours could not be manipulated to kill us. In fact, some of those people, we would have never known them, by the way. And so we are not going to leave the struggle from going ahead and looking at the difficulties and the most challenging part of it, where some of our brothers have been turned to try to kill us. If they are doing that, is because we have stood so strong against the enemy, and the only way for the enemy to seek relevance is to use some of us to kill us. And some of us do so, though, without knowing that they are fallen in the trap of the enemy to fight against. So we have to continue moving forward. And so when we arrive, then we can go to the common law jurisdiction and seek justice for the things that happened that we didn't like. And so we are not going to look at the difficulties and challenges and say, oh, we are going to stop fighting now like Nambere and go to Port Portbia as Papa, or go to DDR Center and surrender. That what will happen to the family of Mami Api? What happened to the 5 children of Sam Sawyer and his wife, innocent wife? What happened to the family of General Arke and the child that he left behind? That what shall we confess to the people that have led their lives for this? And so even though we have challenges that are real challenges, that if you look at your human nature and your human reputation and who you are, you will say, oh, I can't stand myself like this. Like Yannick Shikot. Oh, I can't be there like Nicolas Santos. Oh, I cannot continue like you have seen in Sofoncha. And we look at those things, we would have long given up. But because we understand that this is something that is human. You have to be a humanitarian to stand with the people. You have to understand the blood that has been spilled. And not them thing that is alive like me or you is going to stop you, because you are fighting for the justice, for the blood, for those that have died. And so a human being that's alive is not going to stop you. That is why the vanguards and the Mandela stand tall today, because whatever somebody who is close to Dr. Chua say or do does not stop us from being with Doctor. That's who we are. No one close to Dr. Chua, even if it is VP, SJ, a Secretary of State, no one can say anything that will make the vanguards or the Mandelas not to love Dr. Chua. He's also a human being. We understand that he's the captain. Dr. Cho don't even need to be the best player in the team. Dr. Cho don't need to be the best disciple of himself. The vanguards will play their part. So he continued to look at the way forward and sit with other people to gather intelligence and more knowledge. Look, the leader is not of himself. The leader gathers knowledge from every people that surround himself. The AGOC nations. And you don't even know who are those behind the AGOC nation. The Canada, the US, the UK, the Germany, this South Africa, great nations across the world. And Middle East already on the verge of having another AGOC mission. So to all of you who want to join the AGOC mission in the Middle East, look, in those missions sometimes you are being helped. Look, people in Middle East can tell you how agencies have helped them when they are in situation. People in Middle East, just about 3 months ago, I unleashed 10,000 United Arab Emirates dirhams plus another 1,000 from the past debt that they gave. Surprisingly, I didn't want that debt to come back. I wanted to take it in a different way. But I think that the Holy Spirit must have saved the life of that guy to pay the debts. I added his 11,000 United Arab Emirates dirhams. 3 months ago, that money was used for humanitarian gestures to help the people in the Middle East. Sometimes when you go to agency mission and you have problems, you are being helped by other members. Maybe not by the institution, by other members that have a little bit. They help you in your situation. The people in the Middle East can say that. So the awakening of the Mandela, of the agency mission in the Middle East is a call for everyone to join. If you are in Qatar, Kuwait, in Lebanon, in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, in the United Arab Emirates, UAE, you are in Saudi Arabia, in Muscat, or in Yemen, or you are in Bahrain, please, everyone should join the agency mission. Ask me how to do it. And also, there is also the Mandela's mission in the Middle East too. Because you cannot have agency mission without protection, security, and defense. The Mandela's work is to provide security, protection, and defense to the agency nations. Because agency is secure, protected, and defended by the Mandelas. And so there's also the Mandela's Middle East mission. And so if you want to join the Mandelas also, remember that not all agencies are Mandelas, but mostly all Mandelas are egos because they provide that mandate. So we call each and everyone, please do not give up. Come in, join whether the Mandela's mission or the agency mission in the Middle East. Everything is all open and I can channel you to wherever you want to be. Hallelujah. We thank God for this day. He has come with a lot of grace and honor, a lot of respect, and a lot of harmony to our people. A lot of serenity reign in Ground Zero. La Republic has no way to stand. Can you imagine the Independence Day before coming? Cameroon sent more than 20 trucks to Amazonia. They came and hid in bushes. It was not their wishes. They have no match. They have no mantle because we have defeated. They have been defeated. The Amba, our people, our civilians control the ground now. But one thing we understand is that not only one faction controls the entire land. We have factions that have the greater part of it, like ADF, with community schools. The first leader to have community school in the struggle, it would be said in Amazonia, which was the first leader to have to embark on community education in Amazonia. If you don't mention Dr. Choayaba, you are a Tasatan. You don't mention the ADF, the Agos, you are a Tasatan, you are a devil, and you hate your own history. And you are like La Republic, who distort facts. Who was the first leader to embezzle big money in Amazonia? Or who was the first leader? If we have to be professional too, we have to be polite. We have to be polite, we have to be polite. Who was the first leader to mismanage funds during the revolution? This is the best way to put it. Mismanagement. Because there's something which I had to find out. Why the Sakorian did not deliver? It might be that they don't know where to buy. About 2 years ago, it came to my desk that they gave some money to some people and they stole the money. They scammed the money and they did not provide a single material. Maybe they gave the monies all to the hands of 419, to the hands of dealers. It could be the reason. So the question is, which leader mismanaged money during the Amazonian War of Independence? We cannot authoritatively say that which leader stole or thief or embezzle. Which leader mismanaged is the question for now. We have to be very, very kind now and fair because, look, certain things happen and we see that humans sometimes also have shortcomings. So which leader mismanaged funds during the revolution? You already know is the king of Ashawari. And the name of the king of Ashawari, you already know, King Sako Ngwa Irene of the Face. You already know that. That's a fact. I'm not going to chew my words here. I want to be professional enough to say mismanagement. Question will be held. Which activists block activism, corrupted activism, and made sure that every money went to one fund drive in the revolution without allowing any facts finding until the time the money was already mismanaged and he came out crying for justice to that money? Which activist made sure that he carried all the baskets because he wanted to hand all the money to the leader and to the institution? Which activist made sure that he destroyed other groups and calling other leaders as scammers and calling other women as prostitutes and causing and calling ground zero fighters to call some of the activists and leaders and warn them, and also led a conspiracy that took away the first Amazonian Supreme General Ivan Ba in the struggle, who also ratified the kidnap of General Arke in the Boyo cartel, which was going to be killed in 2 a.m. in a certain Monday night. Which activist is this? History of Amazonia will record baby journalists. There's no other one. Baby journalists. Which activist left behind baby journalists out of fear or out of lack of manpower or out of weakness, and later on discovered that he was derailed by baby journalists to follow the idea of the government, and later on apologized to the Amazonian people and say no more anything like the government in the revolution? History will not forget it is called Mark Barretta. These are facts. Which activists speak the Merciful Truth came and talk and rallied to an extent where people fought against Dr. Cho Ayaba and stayed Dr. Cho Ayaba in London. The next day, he came and made a declaration and endorsed Dr. Cho Ayaba as the leader of the struggle, and fought so hard to make that point come true by the erection of the Mandelas and the vanguard in the struggle. History will never forget. It is me. If you don't say it, I will tell you it's me. Here. Whether you don't give me credit or not, I know what I have done, and it remains like that. Gone are the days when people can fight Dr. Cho Ayaba. You touch Dr. Cho Ayaba, you face the vanguard. You touch Dr. Cho Ayaba, you face the ADF. You touch Dr. Cho Ayaba, you face the Mandelas. Gone are the days you can just go and touch ADF on the ground and be like that. The success of ADF, we believe, is the vanguards, and you can go and hang yourself if you say ADF that vanguards are taking credit. When the vanguards were not there, we saw General Ivo being killed in our eyes. When the vanguards were not doing the job, we saw 30 of the ADF forces killed in Bui. You telling us that the vanguards are claiming for everything? We are claiming, because without the vanguard, we saw how ADF forces were killed every day. The vanguards are claiming it. Go and hang. We are not going to listen from anyone who want to put the vanguard down. It is a motivation for vanguard to claim so they can do more good. At the end of the day, when Dr. Cho Ayaba triumphed, at the end of the day, the ADF triumphed, what do you have to lose? Hypocrites. Vanguards, claim everything. Claim it. You have the right to claim it, your effort. You work so hard. You let your credit cards, your bank account going through. People who eat antelope and doesn't know how to catch antelope. You eat antelope and you cannot give hunter credits. Bad people. All Mandela's, clap hands for yourself. You did great. You secured, protect, and defended. You are doing great, amazingly. We can see the path to protect our ADF today, the path to protect Dr. Cho Ayaba today. Without you, I would not even know if I would not end up like a Yannick Shikon. Without you, the vanguard, maybe I could have been more emotional, and I would have ended up like at one point I stood by myself. Without the Mandelas, I don't know whether I could still have the stamina as I talk like this. I don't know. Something might have happened. Without Mandelas, some of us that you enjoy in this struggle, you will not know. Without Mandela, how many people are able to stand with the Tapang Ivo? How many people are able to stand with the Lucas Ashu? How many people are able to stand with the Capo Daniel? Without the Mandelas, some people only look at the excesses that we do. When we make mistakes, they only know how to coach us. But Mandelas will still come and say, look, we understand you have done something bad. Maybe it's not good. But your crime, the first crime you have is that you rejected Cameroon and you became an Amazonian. We know that people do not appreciate the good you do. We do. This one that you have done, brother or sister, is not good. But your first crime is that you rejected Cameroon. People will not thank you for that. They will only see the 1% mistake you did. They will never thank you for the 99% good things you do. So we have to appreciate each and everyone for whatever they do that is great, and then we talk about what is bad, that is 1%. Think about this. How many times have you thanked an activist in this struggle? How many times have you thanked a leader? How many times have you even come and written a private message to a leader or activist, even if they don't reply? How many times have you gone to a media platform to thank them? Today I want to thank the town crier. I want to thank the town crier today. I saw the message, brother. Thank you so much. God bless you. We work so hard for everyone, for civilians to have peace. It is a genuine call from God. As a humanitarian, brother, trust me, that is the nature of our job. It is what we go through day and night. So many things will be done behind the scene. We will talk thousands of things. Yesterday, I was replying a senior camera. A senior camera will look at me and say, he said, you know that you are doing great. Are you thinking about writing the history down? You should write the history down. And I replied the senior comrade and I said, look, I am a talking one. I talk. I record videos like this. I put in YouTube. You know I can't write history. I don't have time. I've said a lot of things that cannot be put down in writings. I have a lot of things in my mind that if I want to write a book, how can I even squeeze what I have in my brain to feed a book? How would that book look like? Unfortunately, I cannot write a book except a summary. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? For what I have in my mind about Amazonia, if I want to write a book, how would that book look like? It is the job of historian to do that, not my job. You can come and look at me every time I speak and write whatever somebody will take from it. It's not me to write a book again because I'm a talking one. I put the videos in YouTube for people to see from generation to generation, even if they write Facebook. But I talk like this so you can know what I said. Like in those days when there was no YouTube and Facebook, there was archaeological history. There was traditional. People were passing history by mouth to mouth. You can listen to what I say. I have called for peace today. Call for everyone to respect their boundaries. Call for everyone to respect other factions. This thing I don't need to write down in a book before you understand me now. How many of you read books, by the way, today? Some of us only listen when people talk. We only write when people blog in the internet. I am not a person who just go and write book and read. I read only strategic books. And you know the type of books I read. You understand? So we will talk, and the historians, those of you who like to write, you can write. I think that Samuel Sako is a good man to write. He's a good writer. He can be writing things and documenting it because the time when he was writing a book, the struggle was moving forward. You understand? There are some people that are journalists. Their job is to report what we do. So it is not good that we should be reporting what we are doing. So that's why sometimes we don't report what we do, so that those people can report. But when they report, they say no west and south west of Cameroon. That's where the group of the matter is. So I don't have to write books, please. Anyone can write what I say. One time after struggle, some people will come and interview us to say the summary. We will say it and they will write it down. We understand that. So I don't have time to write because the time I take to write a book, I will be thinking about the grammatical part. Writing a book, I have to do proofreading, writing, text wrapping, citations, and all those things, and inclusion, and those things take time for me. I know how I write academic papers. I take time to write academic papers that score me 100%, 80%, 90% A grade, and all those things. Composition, I had an A in composition in the US standard composition. But it takes time to do those things professionally, where I have to bring internet links in each citations and so on and so forth. I don't just write a book like that. We write a book with credibility and credible sources. You do a lot of research. So we can do that, but we are moving on the first land. And so the time that I can write book, I can do something to earn a little bit of resource that I can help people. Hospital bills. You understand? Sticks and groundnuts. So I don't want to misuse that time. That's the reason, the only reason why. It's not as if I cannot do it. I can do, trust me, more than anyone can think of. But time factor. We are managing time. We don't have enough time. And once 1 second passes like this, you can't get it back. So I want to thank all of you for today. We have stood for more than 3 hours, if I am not forgotten. 3 hours and 30 minutes talking like this, non-stop, no drinking water. How many people can do this? And when you want to fight me, you think you will succeed. How will you succeed to fight me? When I can talk for almost 4 hours non-stop, no drinking water. And I'm still standing strong, and look at my face. I'm not drained. So this is the strength from God, from the creation, from the creator. The energy I have, even though sometimes I attribute that is because I'm a single man and I don't have time, and I also don't crave for women. That's one thing about me. I don't crave for women. God created me that way. I can just be without it. I don't care. And so my energy, all I put for the people's aspiration, which maybe that's the reason why I have a lot of energy like that. Some of you, you know, even though in my jobs I'm always the highly energetic one, you know, I could work and work 16 hours a day, 20 hours. I don't care. I've always, for the past 6 years in US, have 2 jobs that are full times, and I still go with a struggle full time. So you could imagine if I work 70 hours every week, and I also put hours for the struggle. Every week I will spend at least 10 hours in talk shows. 10 hours is just 3 talk shows for me, right? So you understand that. There's a time where I give talk shows almost every day. All my breaks, I just do a talk show 1 hour and then I continue. I need to sleep only 2 hours a day. That's what I need for the past 7 years. I have been sleeping only 2 hours maximum, maximum 5 hours. I started sleeping 5 hours, but during Corona. To be honest with you people, I used to sleep the maximum 3 hours. That's why my mobile phones are full of clocks, because I have to wake up by a very lousy clock. I only time myself like that. So that's what it takes you to succeed. You have to forgo something in order to succeed. And one of the things I forgot is one, early marriage. I believe that if I have married, I could have settled already long time ago. So I had to sacrifice that in order to, because when you have a wife and children and you are working, your mind is always to your lovely child, your lovely wife. That's what has to be. You can't marry and you don't love your wife. You have to sacrifice time. More time will be spent to your family. But since I don't have that, I spend more time working. Also, I have to sacrifice, life. You get some money, you have to invest the money in order to get big money. Everyone need to know that. The youth need to know that. The generation need to know that. You have to sacrifice to gain something. And the Amazonian people are sacrificing today to get their freedom. Nothing is free. Our children education is a big sacrifice, and we are getting it. Our lawyers sacrifice, teachers sacrifice, Okada men sacrifice, taxi men sacrifice. All these things will evolve and come out to one thing called an improvised independence, which is a type of freedom for the people. Think about this. Nothing is free. Independence is not a walk on the park. There's no food for lazy man. Amazonian people, if I'm yours talking like this, I started talking 3 years ago when I was a blogger before the struggle. People would come and love me and say things and, laugh my language, my grammar. I was born and raised in the village. And I'm like, if people who were born in cities and went to schools are talking now about me like this, I'm a great person, right? I say, I'm a good person. If I was in the village tapping palm wine, who will ever talk about me? I say, I'm happy. One of the best time was when people criticize me, because now I'm like, people can criticize me too. I see people criticize Obama. I see people criticize Michelle Obama. I see people criticizing on the presidents. People can. I said, look, for me it was a jackpot. That they see I exist, so I exist. If I was a palm wine tapper in the village, no one could criticize me, because you're not gonna see when I'm tapping palm wine and missing. When sometimes you put a calabash, there is some giant beef. Gorong beef and the rats. They come and they want to drink palm wine, so they kick the calabash. You come in the morning, all the mimbu has gone to the ground. That's why when you come to I learned self-defense when I was a palm wine tapper. When you come to where I'm tapping my palm wine, you see a lot of sticks I hit to the calabash. So I hold the calabash with the sticks, and then I put a big stone on top of the calabash. You know why? Because those rats that come to drink palm wine and kick the calabash, when they come, they will see nothing. And the bottom line of it is that I have some of my palm wine eye. Called palm wine eye. That's how they call it, the eye of a palm wine. You understand? So when I come, I put the sticks again. I put a stone on top of the calabash. But because some of them are stubborn, when they come, they create a little hole beside it, and then they still drink the palm wine. I set the trap. I put a trap. You know the trap used to catch giant rat and the rats. I set traps across that place. So we want to come if you insist. Well, if you insist, I will not only come and tap my palm wine. Before I see, I will be calling my mother to boil water and cook fufu corn while I'm coming with the ngorong beef. Like this. This is reality. If you are a palm wine tapper, you know what I'm talking here. If you are a professional palm wine tapper. So in everything in life, you have to defend what you are hustling. Defend your hustle. Secure your hustle. And protect your hustle. As a palm wine tapper, I have learned to practice self-defense with my calabashes from the giant rat. Look at this one. This one not be joke. Now through this, it hurts to be a palm wine tapper. You get out every 3 a.m. 3 a.m. you are already up going to a journey of maybe 10 miles away. And you arrive and the ngorong beef has come and want to drink palm wine or the bath. There's also the bath that want to come and this bath. They want to, the bath, the bath. They want to also come and drink. They kick the calabash away, and after they drink and get drunk, then all the mimbu goes down to the soil. It is very, very painful. Especially you have an eye of palm wine that give you 10 gallons a day. You come and you see the 10 gallons has gone on the ground because of a stubborn giant rat. You put a trap there and put a stone on top of it and put the stick there to guide it. As a professional palm wine tapper, I can tell you all these things, so you know I do palm wine. God bless you all. Thank you so much. Amazonian people, protect your struggle. Put the sticks across and put a stone on top of it. And then use your self-defense if anyone want to break those chains. send the person to Satan. Amazonians, you are doing amazing. Keep it that way. It is ordained that for every hustle, for every struggle, it will be secured, protected, and defended. If you don't defend your hustle, Satan will help you to destroy it. If you don't protect your hustle and your struggle, Satan will destroy it. If you don't secure your struggle, Satan will destroy it. Some of you will work abroad for how many years? Today you can't even buy an apartment, you can't even buy a house, you can't even marry a wife, you can't have children, you can't even pay because you don't secure your hustle. You have to secure your hustle. When you can secure your hustle, then you can have equity, you can have private, you can have money, you can have properties. Because you secured your hustle. Some of you secured your hustle in the strip clubs, secure your hustle only in nightclubs, secure your hustle only in the bosom of prostitute, secure your hustle only from one pan to another, from one private part to another. And then after that, you end up being useless, like a useless palm wine tapper who does not know how to secure his calabash to collect palm wine. In life, for everything that you do, you have to use your own instinct and use what they call intelligence. Common sense, not even intelligence. You have to put that in the struggle. I want to thank all of you today for learning in the Merciful Truth talk show for today. Protect your leader. Secure your leader. Defend your leader. Protect the leadership. Defend the leadership. If you love the community school, what will still make you from today to hate the AGC? And if you like the AGC because of the community school, what will still make you to believe that the ADF that protect the community school is the Republic? Do you see? This is what you can use to catch a thief. They lied to you that ADF was the Republic and you believe. But today the people who lied to you that ADF was the Republic don't even have a single community school. And the same ADF that they have made you to hate is now the one that is championing community school and providing food, security, protected to the children. And now when our civilians are hiding away from the Republic, they go and hide in their camps for safety and protection in secured areas with a transitional authority. And some of those transitional authority areas, the Republic is aware. But they know that going there now is pure genocide because we have reported those areas now to the United Nations. We have reported those areas now to the UNICEF. We have reported those areas to the United States. We have reported those areas to the international organizations, and they know. That's why the UN will come and drop food there sometime from time to time. That's why the Red Cross comes there now to help our people sometime when they are sick. Some of you don't know that. Red Cross are coming. United Nations is coming. UNICEF is the only person we want to come. We want UNICEF and UNESCO. UNESCO and UNICEF need to come there. If you go to fight those areas, you don't know who is watching. Journalists are there. International journalists are taking note of everything. You go to those areas, you don't know who will document you henceforth. All the ADF are called to be at alert and to be on radar because you did great for the Independence Day. The enemy want to destroy you with all their heart. So all ADF fighters and soldiers are called to be at alert. 2 kilometer periphery. It's not 1 kilometer. I said 2 kilometers. Anything that shake, 2 kilometers around. If it shake like a snake or like a butterfly in the grass, or you see just grass shake like this, you bless it 2 times or 5 times. What do you have to lose? If you allow that and it's a canker worm and it feeds on you, we will cry. I don't have to cry. I'm tired of crying. So all ADF around 2 kilometers are advised to make routine check, be on radar 24/7. Anything that shake, even if it's a wind, put 2 granite for inside. Before now wind, wait till you go lost. If na a kelebe so no be na so they go take your life. King wey go kill you no dey na for your own the same odwala. It don't already dey near you. So if you have to be wise, so if not they wise, so I don't want to say rest in peace because I'm not used to saying that. You can see in my Facebook, I hardly say rest in peace to any fallen person, not because I don't say it, but in media I don't say that. It's an act of motivation and demotivation. I can't demotivate the people like that. And so in my mind I will pray for you, but now is a time where it's full scale now. That don't have to happen again. And also the spirit of General Ivo, the spirit of harvest. General No Pity should not be the one copying the spirit of General Ivo. General Ivo taught us to harvest. We have to continue harvesting. Why we send the little ones that they have? Why the council send the little they have? We have to harvest. General Ivo taught us to harvest. When he was harvesting, we saw it. No pity when and harvested. He took his hand, destiny. He's a strong person today because he harvested a lot. We should not only be crying and waiting for things to come. We need to harvest. ADF, go out and harvest at secured places. You have seen Alabu come, Bamenda Brigade harvesting. Let us go out to harvest. Harvest more. Take it. It's your taxpayers' money. It's your properties. Harvest. Send them to Satan and take the sticks and own it. Write your name onto it. God bless you all as you are going out to harvest wherever it is time and secured and you can harvest. God protect you. We pray in Jesus' name. Thank you so much for coming to today's talk show. It's been a great time being together. Don't worry, the flags will soon go up and we are soon going to arrive. Thank you so much for coming to today's show. It's been a powerful one being together with all of you. Thank you, and thank you. Goodbye, and see you again another time. Goodbye. We are thanking Comrade Benwill, the time crier. Thank you so much, brother. I saw your appreciation. God bless you. We continue to look for more so that as next year is coming, we might do great. Comrade Benwill, thank you so much, the town crier, for being a wonderful person. The spirit of neutrality and the spirit of goodness, the spirit of preaching for what is good and seeing what is good in Amazonia and appreciating is one of the reasons for which today's talk show was held. The Merciful Truth talk show. Comrade Wibi, maybe you don't know, you are like Benwill, sorry. Comrade Benwill, Comrade Ben Wills, thank you so much for your wonderful works. You see, today was central around neutrality, the issue of appreciating people when they do good, and understanding and also acknowledging the presence of other people in their localities where they are in control. Maybe they are not doing exactly what we are doing, but appreciate them. We thank you so much for that wonderful dexterity and enthusiasm, Comrade Ben Wills. Thank you so much. God bless you. I saw your appreciation. You are amazing. You are outstanding. Just like the vanguards, just like the Mandelas, you are amazing. Thank you, and thank you. All of you vanguards, Mandelas, you are amazing. To those in the Middle East that want to join the Mandela's Forum, please contact me and be part of the vanguards in the Middle East. Be part of the Mandela's. History will record you. We are not giving up. Mind you that I am just awakening. I am growing. I'm a man. I'm just growing. I'm getting there. It's time. So we are not giving up. And so if it means that we are going to be the last one standing, we will stand. And so you are not, when you join the vanguards, you are joining till thy kingdom come. Because you know I don't give up in anything. Whenever there is something that needs to be done, if it must have peace for civilians. Everything, civilians must be protected. And anything that fights a civilian is a terrorist. Anything that fights civilians is a traitor. Anything that fights civilians is blackleg. And so, civilians, whatever you want is what we will protect and give to you. We stand with the civilians. We stand with the civilians even before standing with the leadership. Civilians is the first, and there's nothing that can change our mind. That is how the vanguard stand. We stand with Dr. Cho Ayaba today. Fortunately, because he is the only leader that is legitimate that we see today above every leader. That does not mean that other leaders are irrelevant, but that Dr. Cho Ayaba happens to be one of the best leaders, like a captain for every team. We stand with ADF because ADF happened to be the biggest wing in the struggle. Without compromising other forces, we acknowledge them, sister forces, and collaboration. That's a fact. We acknowledge the other forces. They are doing great in their various localities and in their various districts. We thank them so much for the wonderful work that they are doing. Work when only God can pay for this, because humanity cannot pay for this. So we thank them so much. We saw what we saw in Independence Day. We know now who we are, and we know the layers of stratification we have, and we pay allegiance and respect to that. The Mandelas are having the humanitarian nation that's coming up. We encourage everyone to join and help the Mandelas achieve that. If you love what you see, support it. I also took upon myself to bring the accountability out in public, plain. There's nothing, if we buy books and give to a school, we buy books for $100, $50. What is difficult for me to come and tell the people that we bought books and gave here, and you see children with the books. You have seen the children marching, so too you will see the children with the books. And we support the people in Konengi with 2-3 bags of rice, and we show you the 3 bags of rice and say we bought one for 27, 25, or 20,000. It's all 60. What is difficult to account in this? I don't know. But we will try. If it is hard to us, We shall come out in public and beg for forgiveness that we have tried and it's so difficult. We will also do that. Everything that we do, you will have it. It's easy to account. One stick was bought, one groundnut was bought. We already know that now. And you see somebody in ground zero, and we are telling you that yes, and the person is giving you a confirmation. What is difficult in that? We have our various WhatsApp groups now for everything, even if it's sensitive to be in public. What is difficult for that? We don't imagine. We will do it when it's hard before we understand. So we have begged everyone to support the Mandela's humanitarian mission. It's a great thing. We want to reach out to the suffering, to the people that are suffering. We want to reach out to the orphans, to the children that are in schools. We want to reach out to our communities, to our refugees, and to our prisoners. We call everyone to copy from Dr. David Makongo and help the Mandelas to achieve that goal, where I am going to oversee to make sure that accountability is brought to you. If you don't see it, call me bastard. Come to me and even put my name as an embezzler. Call me an impeacher. Call me a bandit if you don't see the accountability out for whatever we have received. Thank you so much. God bless you. Have a wonderful time and goodbye. This is yours. Liberation TV, the host, CEO, Vela. We thank the model of Liberation TV and no other person than Queen Nagela Gilles. She's the model of Liberation TV. She's a wonderful person, a wonderful woman. She has done great. She has done great. She is phenomenal. We have to thank her for the great job that she has done. She is one of the best things that to have ever happened in this struggle. Thank you so much, the model of Liberation TV. You are also a mother to the vanguards. You are also a mother to our wonderful, wonderful, wonderful heroes. And thank you so much. They can't wait to hear from you. Thank you so much. Thank you and thank you. Have a wonderful time. And then to these children that you have seen here on the ground, let us pray that once I return to them, I should see all of them are intact. This is 2012. I'm standing here in one of the schools. This is a Presbyterian community where I went there 2012, stood with the children. I taught them information technology. I taught them computer science, and I also showed them what a camera looks like and taught them that without drawing on the board as they do. And I showed them a mouse, a monitor, a CPU, and how the computer functions and how information and data is processed. This is far back in 2012, right? You can see that 2013. So we have been with our communities, and we pray that as we go back, these children should be safe. No doubt you are seeing community school today. And some of you are wondering why these community schools are coming, because we have always been there with our communities. And so for people who don't know that, well, you will see this and you will not know how things are being done. And you see me here with communities, and then you are wondering why community schools are there. But you've forgotten that there are orphans that have been under our watch. You have forgotten that there have been orphans under our watch. We're signing all these documents here and signing and giving scholarships to our communities, to our children. So we know what they needed. We know what they need. We know what they are going through. And it's not as if we don't know what we are doing in this struggle. For every chapter that I've been in this struggle, I'm not a lost person. I know what I'm doing. God has blessed us with that. And so no one should take it away. When we sign scholarships like this for communities and talk about community education and schools and everything, we know what we're doing. And so thank you so much, fellow brothers and sisters. Thank you for believing and thank you for accepting the truth. Have a wonderful time. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much and goodbye.